What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday night where we're going to be reviewing, it's a spoiler review of The Terminal List on Amazon Prime, starring Chris Pratt. And it was an interesting show, to say the least. Very interesting. Tonight on the panel, we have Mad. He's making his return. He was here last time for the review we did for Midnight Mass, but now he's here again, and he was in the military. So this is going to be really interesting to discuss this with you. I'm glad you're here.
I am as well, and it's me. It's Bo. So yeah, it's not Mad. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm trying to separate like when I'm on a panel that I'm actually going to be me rather than Mad Cheesemo. So I thought maybe.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, what were you called again? Mad, because it was Mad Mardigan for a while. Yeah. Now you're Mad Cheesemo.
Mad the Magnificent.
Mad the Magnificent. I don't know what
Cavelli.
All these personas.
So
Mad Pock Choppa.
So Bo, aka Mad Cheesemo, aka all these different fucking names. That's him right here. His link is in the description down below. Make sure you're subscribed. Tell everyone who you are though and where they can find you.
Oh, I thought we just. Well, I'm everything that we just said. No, my channel. I have a channel, Mad Barber Entertainment. We do Street Smarts twice a week where we used to watch a lot of after school specials, but we ran out. All that's left is like, don't touch people there. And we're like, no, we're not going to do those. So we've been watching all kinds of different things. We watched, Generation Hope. What an amazing treasure trove of nonsense. I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
Have you seen the video with the woman, the two black kids are playing basketball. She comes out and has like a whip.
No,
that was all over the internet. Anyways, it's like these very left leaning, video.
The whip lady. Yeah. I've seen that.
I found like 4 different channels and they all have like millions of views. I'm like, who is watching this? But we've been, oh man, they're so crazy. So we've been doing a lot of those.
I know what you're talking about because the other night I was watching the Jack show and they were doing that. Like they were watching the old school of that channel. Some of that stuff is wild. I was like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, so like good to see you. The other person that's here is the very lovely Jane Theory. Hi, Jane.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy to be here.
Yay, I'm so happy you're here. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
Yay! I'm so happy you're here. George Molo is going to be joining us soon. He's at a birthday dinner, so he'll be here, but he'll be here late. Scott, however, is not feeling well. He unfortunately got a cold, and I totally understand how he feels because that's what I was like last week, and I felt like crap. So everybody, if you are on Twitter, go and wish Scott from Sporking News Podcast, speedy recovery. We love you, Scott. Hope you feel better soon, buddy. But yeah, so it's gonna be the 3 of us tonight for a bit. But it's okay because we have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about this show.
There's so much to say.
There's a lot to talk about. So let's just get into it. As always, we're gonna start by saying our initial thoughts and initial impressions of this show, and then we'll kind of get into discussing different aspects of it, whatever scenes we like, we didn't like. If we know the episode name, I'll kind of try and pull up the scene and we can talk about it. Otherwise, this was a pretty interesting show. So let's start with you, Jane. What did you think?
I absolutely enjoyed this show from beginning to end. I know some people are complaining about the pacing, but I loved it. I felt, the slower parts were really interesting. They kept me involved, invested, and looking forward to what was around the corner. So I loved it. It was the right mix of excitement, complexity, and storytelling, great acting, directing, visually, it was stunning. Just everything you would want in a TV show.
Very
or movie,
cool.
for that matter.
Or a movie, yeah. Because it was a very high budget series, I think. I feel it felt like it. Yeah, it felt like it. So that's cool. What about you, Mad?
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It's just a little different for me though, because like if a movie isn't hitting it right with the military aspects of it, even just the gunplay, like I'm out. I am. You want to? My girlfriend hates watching it with me. If
I
something's
would
wrong with
too.
it, oh, she's like, all right, you know what? Let's just watch something else because like it's just gonna bug me, and I'm just gonna talk about how wrong they were. But this one, as far as other than the beginning, when we can get into it, everything was like legit, and I loved how they did not even they didn't even try to explain some things that you need to know what it is. Like landslide is a term that they use that no one knew. EFP, I don't know how familiar you're with what that is that he uses. And so I had to pause it and explain some of these things to my girlfriend because I
There
love
was
that.
a lot of military jargon that even
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
what?
it goes beyond that. They didn't have any like any irrelevant like exposition just for us, right? They never
Right.
talked to us and explained to us like the godparents or his uncle who was a friend of his dad, the Hispanic guy.
Mhm.
The whole series, my girlfriend's like, who are they?
Who are
How
these
are they
people?
related to them?
I was thinking
I
about
don't
that
know.
too. I was
Yeah.
like, what the
But
But
fuck?
you
I
figured
love
it out though. Like they didn't think you were too dumb to figure it out.
Right. But at the same time, I
yes.
was dumb. And I was like, who are these people? I don't
Right.
understand where they came from. Like,
I'm
why
still not
is he
sure.
helping him? But
When he talked
okay,
about his
we'll get.
dad, like you knew there was a
Well,
relationship.
yeah, but
Well, yeah,
like
I knew there was a relationship, but I was like, okay, so like, who is he though? Like, did he help him with the cartel? Why is he so rich? Like, I was like, is he a cartel member? Like, I don't understand why
how did
he's
Roll
so
Tide
rich.
get that plane? Why does she have that plane? What does she do?
That was the
Like
only thing that was a little bit unbelievable was that he had all of these connections,
it
but
was
it seemed
convenient.
based on the connect what the politician said, it
Mhm.
seems like his family was top tier socially in terms of social
Yes.
hierarchy as well. So that may have had
Oh.
something to do with
Yeah.
it.
See, I always
He
thought it
wasn't
was
from an
because of the
ordinary family.
CIA guy. I was like, the CIA guy must know
Well,
people, I
that's the
guess. I
intel.
don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the
Yeah.
intel that he
Yeah.
got that. But anything like the money and all of that looks like it
Just
came
wealth.
from his. Yeah, I love that they stuck to it. You know what I mean? Because before this, I think so. Jurassic World Dominion, man. Every time characters met, they're like, "Oh, you're Doctor Lady from the first movie. You're important because of this." Like they just all they were missing was like a bullet points explaining who
Mhm.
they are. And this movie's like, "No, we're not going to do any of that," which I
Mhm.
appreciated.
Well, and actually, like, let's clarify this for the viewers who don't really know you, Mad or Bo. See, I call you Mad now. It's the way it
That's
is.
fine.
I'm sorry. But like, tell everyone like what you've done. Like, what is your experience with the military?
So yeah, I was a scout in the army in 19 Delta for 4 years. I was in Iraq, West Rashid, Baghdad. Our vehicles hit by an IED, fire, burns, all that good stuff. Well, you know, and then I medically retired. I was a police officer for about almost 8 years. After that, and so yeah.
And he's seen some weird ass shit, you guys. I'm not
Oh,
gonna get
yeah.
into it on the stream.
Oh
But if
no, I
you're,
know which
like-
one you're talking about.
Dude, like I will never forget that story that you told. It's like scarred in my memory. Like so.
Oh,
if
is
you're-
it?
It's like just in there, and I'm like, why? Like, and every time I see you, it's this
My stomach started
association.
turning as soon as you said it.
Not even bringing it up.
Oh.
But he's seen some weird ish, you guys. And if
Yeah.
you want to know what that is, this story, you have to go to his channel and ask him about the tampon
Yeah.
story because we're not going to talk about it tonight. We're not doing it. But you just have to
No.
ask him. But so okay, I like the show too. I overall very much enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. But I did have a problem with the pacing. I'm not gonna lie, because I thought it was really, really slow at times. At about episode, I think it was 4 or 5. I don't remember which one it was. It was like right around the time when they were gonna go, like right after, like I guess they went to Mexico and they did
Right.
that whole thing. I was like, this series is really dragging on. Like, cause like, how many people is he gonna kill before this is over?
I loved it
I mean, in a way, I thought that's cool that it's
because it was a
dragging
puzzle,
on.
right? They gave him
Right.
the time he needed to figure it out who the next person was going to be and what their involvement was, and you
And
wondered
this-
whether he was right or wrong sometimes.
Right. And at the same time, like I remember like it was weird because I remember like at the end of that episode when when his friend is telling him like, okay, we've discovered who it is that killed your family. It's this cartel person or
Yeah.
whatever. And at the end, like, or we can go after the guy that's like the main guy
Mhm.
and understand and get some answers. Like, what do you want to do? And the guy's like, I want blood. And
Right.
I was like, in a way, I thought that was a cool answer because it was like, like, oh, well, blood, let's go
Mhm.
get it. But at the same time, I was like, man, I would want answers like first, and especially if I'm going to go to a foreign country and start a foreign, and
War.
a war,
International
basically. Like,
incident.
this is an international incident. I'd probably want some answers first before I'd head over to Mexico. So I
Not
don't
me.
know if that's like a white person thing or if that's a military thing. Like,
I
I'm
think
not
it's a
sure.
Southern thing.
Yeah.
Is it a
Well,
Southern thing? I don't know.
I mean, as the white representation on this episode, no, I think it is a military thing. There's a part to where it no longer really becomes about him revenging like avenging his family or whatever. It's really just about him at a point. Like because he is a very violent person because he has to be, and cool, right? But he cannot put it like his need for the blood. It goes beyond his need for getting justice for his family. And I think that does tip at a point to where he goes beyond just looking for justice.
I disagree a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Because I think from sort of speaking as a Southerner here,
Me too.
there will be absolute vengeance. I mean, if you harm someone's family and
Right.
they are, especially if they're trained,
Mhm.
how to use a weapon, which a lot of us are down here, there's no question. Your answer is going to be, I want blood. I want
But
revenge.
wouldn't you want the
I want
blood
Old
after?
Testament justice.
I mean, violence begets violence, and don't forget about all the, I don't know how, one part that really bothered me was when, and I know why they did it. So the Secretary of Defense, Waterworld, I can't think of her name right now, but she says, no, she doesn't want the security from Secret Service or whatever. She went with a private contract company, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was on purpose so that when Reese goes through and causes hell on her little island that she's on.
You mean, okay, hold on. Let me pull up this picture first. You mean this lady, right? Let me pull this up because I got the episodes here. This lady.
Yeah. Her name. Yeah. Secretary Hartley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Secretary
Right.
Hartley, her.
Because they made a point to say it, that she's not going to have her normal security details. She has hired a private military contractors, right, to guard her island. And I don't know if that was to allow them to really get violent on that island, because he's taking out all these guys. But don't worry, it's not the military guys. It's, contractors, because
They were mercenaries.
I think it was that, but also to show her hypocrisy.
True that. Well, so I for so long we have been painting these contractors in such a bad light because Blackwater messed it up for everybody pretty much, right? Because of how shady they are. But
Yeah.
those guys, I know those guys. I know not all. I know some of them. Some of my guys have gone that I know and have gone and done that. They're good guys. They're just doing a job, right? They're not all evil. They're not all just going from village to village, just laying down civilians. But they've been used as a antagonist to such a degree that it's easy for them to be in place of the military in that situation. So it lessens the effect that we see Reese killing people that have nothing to do with his wife and his daughter.
But
Yeah,
isn't that
he
the
kind of
thing?
went nuts in the end. He was like, fuck it. I'm
But
taking
doesn't
it
that
all up.
speak to a lot of the problem people have? And I think that this show sort of points out with how the government operates in terms of taking advantage of the military when it needs to, and contractors when it needs to sort of have that sort of cover or to do the things that they can't get away with. I mean, it's very shady in general when you step back and think about it. And then you have people getting hurt in the process who aren't involved or who didn't expect that this is what they would be called to do in either case.
I think at that point he was just kind of like over it. Like he was like, I've come this far, and now I've realized that the person that was kind of like supposed to be in my corner the most actually like has betrayed me and killed, basically got my family killed. And I don't care who the fuck is on this island. If you're fighting for her,
Right.
you're dead. Like, I don't think he
So,
cared at that point.
but the FBI agents were also trying to stop him from getting
Mhm.
what he perceived. But why was he not as violent with them as he was with the contractors?
I think when he saw when there was a moment of one-on-one opportunity to not necessarily have to kill the person between him and her or him and whoever, he
Mhm.
would take it. If he gave them the opportunity or they gave him the opportunity, he would choose peace because they weren't on the list. And repeatedly we see him say, "You're not on my list, don't get on my list." But if you were trying to kill him and actively doing so or actively interfering, then you were a go as a target. So I think that's
They were interfering by just doing their job. They were hired as security.
I don't think
That's
that's how
just
he
their
looked
job.
at it though. I think he
Oh,
looked at it more
I
on an
hope not.
individual one-on-one basis.
I really like that conversation he had with that FBI agent. I think it was I forget what episode it was, but it was when he was like being hunted down like in the forest or whatever.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, that was one of the episodes where I was like, please either just get found or fucking die, or like let's please like let something happen. I don't
I
know
liked
what,
it because it
something.
showed remember they contrasted that with his training his daughter how to survive in the wilderness?
Yes,
Yeah.
And I think
yes.
that sort of was a callback to that.
I-
Or go ahead.
I understand. I can see why like the pacing may have been a little slow for some people, but I'm glad that they did. I'm glad we didn't have the now he's back in Gotham. How did he get there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know. I know. I mean, I was there for it. Like, I was like, okay, like I understand there's pacing or whatever, like, but it has to be done. Like, I understood that.
Yeah.
But like having said like about it being slow, I did think one of the best dialogues in the whole show was that part where he was talking to the FBI agent,
Mhm.
and the FBI agent was asking him like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And he was like talking about like basically like how he has to like avenge his family.
Mhm.
And he told him like in the end, he's like one of the last things he told him was that I've based my whole life on making violence like the best thing that I'm good at. Like
Mhm.
Right.
that is me. And I thought that was a really powerful line, because that's what we were all wondering the whole time. Like, how far are you willing to go? Like, are you willing to even question any of it? And at that point he was kind of like, dude, like they made me into this. Like they made me into this monster. Like,
But who
It
would I mean, what I still don't understand why anyone would think that there would be a line. Someone killed your daughter.
there
There's no line.
I
They
think that
crossed it.
it's not that there is a line or that there isn't one. Like, for example, I thought there was a line with
Me
the
too.
friend. Like, I thought that there was a line because, first of all, it's not like he pulled the trigger. Second of all, it's not like once he found out, he didn't do everything he possibly could to avenge the family as well. He was like, like with the second I found out, like they brought me into this too,
I
he
wouldn't care.
realized that they were experimenting on him and he was going to die anyways.
I would have sliced him open just like he did the other guy.
But
Really?
I think once he set off the EFP, I'm like, bro, like
$20
you know what I
million.
mean?
It was $20 million he got?
20 million, yeah.
For getting his military family killed and his biological family killed, there's no way he would live.
But he didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Like I'm fine with the friend. I didn't want him to be behind it because I'm like I fought it. The girlfriend, she called it like the first as soon as he came on screen, she's like, "Oh no, he's bad." I'm like,
but
he's
I don't
white.
think he
that doesn't
did.
mean he's bad.
Like, I thought I didn't think he killed like the main family.
He was
thought-
he was part of it though.
He didn't know what they were gonna do. Like he didn't realize that they were gonna kill his wife and daughter. they did that on their own. And he's like, once
Yeah.
they killed your family, then that's when I was like, hey man, I didn't sign up for this shit. Like, and
Too
he
bad.
did everything he could to
That's
help him get revenge for his family.
So yeah, so the girlfriend kept asking, like, why is he doing all this for him? Like, he's guilty as shit. I'm like, no. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
his brother. Like, yeah, you'll do anything for your brother, And
I think he
because
did
I
that as
came
guilt.
from there, oh yeah, that it turned out to be that. I fought it as long as I could.
I mean, I thought so too. Like for a minute, I was like, is it possible that it's this guy? Because the moment I heard he was CIA, I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, like
That didn't bother me
CIA,
a
that,
bit.
that doesn't sound good.
Nope, didn't
But then
bother me.
like when I realized though that it wasn't just about that it was like, that like he didn't set him up. Like I just cared about the wife and daughter. Like the thing is with me with the military people is like, and again, no offense, Mad, military people sign up for this shit. Like no offense, but you guys do. You sign up to die, essentially. So I feel
Oh,
like
okay.
even if there's a betrayal or something, like it's not the same thing as a little girl who is defenseless being shot. Like you have guns, you can fight back. Like there's just a difference for me versus like that family. And then the fact that like his justification of it, of like, you guys are gonna die of cancer anyway, would you have rather died in like
Yeah, with your
brain
boots
dead
on
in the
or whatever he
hospital,
said.
or would you rather have died fighting? I'd be like, you know what, I kind of get that. Like I'd rather go as a soldier. If I was a soldier, I'd rather go on fighting than
I had that choice though. Like,
he
you know what I mean?
mentioned
Like that's taken.
exactly.
he should have
Exactly.
given
He
him the choice.
mentioned
He
one of
should
the
have told
guys
him.
had a pregnant wife at home. Like,
Yeah.
He should have told them. I don't know why he didn't, but he should have told his bros, hey, just FYI, you guys have been experimented on and you got brain cancer now. And you might you guys are all gonna die a very painful death.
Also, check out the photos of my real cool new boat I got.
right?
Oh God, yeah, like
Unrelated.
that boat.
Yeah.
Unrelated, by the way.
Has nothing to do with your brain cancer.
Oh my
And
God.
I love how they did implicate like the corporations and how they just don't care and will do this sort of thing on people,
Mhm.
military, civilians. I mean, and they have a real world history of doing experimentation, as well as the government being involved and covering it up and all of that.
Even his leadership, because when I left, I had a bad taste in my mouth for leadership anyways. But like, yeah, I could see them doing some shady stuff like that for sure. That wasn't a stretch for me at all. Like, yeah. But
I kind of really like that aspect of it, the fact that they were doing the experiments and like the justifications the woman was giving about why she did what she did,
yeah,
which I thought was literally nothing. See, I thought that lady just deserved to go, like just fucking like nah, just
Yeah.
she's out. But
Seems
like
like
the
so many
other guy,
politicians who just
oh,
they try to justify what they're doing by thinking, oh well, it's for the greater good, and no, you're just covering for yourself, or you're just trying to benefit, you're trying to profit, you're trying to get votes. Like none of these people can be trusted. None of these institutions can be trusted at the end of the day because they don't care about the
no,
individual everyday person who's caught up in it. And
they
that's
don't
what I
care
got
at
from it.
all. And that's the thing I thought about the white lady too, is that like just like your girlfriend and how she had some inkling of that,
yeah.
the CIA
Ben.
guy. I mean, I had this inkling too, but I kept putting it off.
Me too.
But with the other woman, like the second she was saying like all the right things, I was like, okay, wait, white woman works for the government, saying all the right things.
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna be the main villain here. Like I was just waiting, like I was like, any second now, it's gonna be like, oh, she knew about everything and like
She was
orchestrated the whole thing.
She was way too personal with Reese for her not to be shady. Like, what are you doing? You're Secretary of Defense. Why are you even talking to this person?
Exactly.
There's levels here.
There is levels, and I just felt like she was like she didn't care. She was like, oh, I'm just like we're all BFFs, and they're like, I'm just gonna take care of this guy and like all like everyone, and I'm just so great. Like
it's red flags if anyone had
virtue.
that. Anyone with that power level, if they care about someone so small and insignificant as Reese is in the big scheme of things, like I don't trust that at all. You're trying to use someone.
Well, keep in
Or you're
mind,
trying
he
to
got
benefit.
away. So like you're saying, she can't trust her because she knew that he got away and something was
Yeah.
wrong. So, she was trying to either figure out what was going on or cover her bases should he find out what was happening.
Well, and let's start at the beginning here, because in the beginning too, like I had to watch that scene like several times, like what happened at the beginning, like with the bomb and everything, because I thought that most of the series was going to be surrounding that particular instance. That particular instance was kind of like the first 2-3 episodes, but then after that it became a lot, like the situation became very complex.
And the way it was shot though, and so again, they didn't do the thing like in some military shows, like what was it? Oh, Battle for Los Angeles or Battle for LA, the Alien movie. They're the worst about it because they're like, oh yeah, they just got out of OCS, Officer Cadet School. Like, no, you wouldn't say that because he knows what OCS is. Like, you know what I mean? Like explaining things that we wouldn't explain to each other, right? But they didn't do this on this. Now the dog, I'm assuming the dog, it was a bomb dog, because there's different.
Yeah, like a bomb squad dog or whatever. Yeah,
right. Well, because we have, they have different dogs for different units jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, for different jobs, right? So that dog would have smelled the C4, the explosives, as soon as he walked in there. That's fine though. So when they go in though, the EOD guy says landslide. That means it's done. We're over. We're leaving. That's it.
Oh, okay.
And they're supposed to leave, but that's when the bad guys, insurgents or whatever, what have you, came in behind them and put them between them and the wire to blow everything up, right? So Reese has them go beyond the wire so that if they advance, they would actually maybe trigger the explosions onto them. So it was a lot of confusion.
But what building were they in?
They weren't in a building at all. They were
in
the
sewers. Underneath. Where you said the dogs were or would have been?
They had a dog right with them.
Yeah.
You saw the dog?
I didn't see the dog, mate.
Yeah, and then he stopped them from like setting off that first thing.
I don't think dogs can detect
underwater though. I don't know how he could have fucking detected.
Well,
that
no,
there's the dog.
It's a trip wire. It connects it detects the explosives. It's not going to detect the trip wire. They just happened to stop right before it, I guess.
Oh, I see. I thought the dog freaking smelt that thing. I was like, how is that even fucking possible?
I smell a wire.
Yeah, like I don't know. I was like, what? How is that even possible? I didn't get it. I was like, what's happening? But yeah, like there was that scene though. I had to watch it like several times because I was like, especially when he went back and like, I felt like the series went like at that point the series was going really really fast because you go from like a funeral scene which is really slow to them being in like this unit thing, and then all of a sudden they're like in the heat of the battle, they're going into battle, and it's just like boom boom boom, and then literally like a big boom, and you're like, wait, what the frig just happened? Because they all seem like it didn't seem like it was going to be that big of a deal. It was like an op, they're just going into it. And
I have one more complaint about that because it's going to bug me. All right, so all the gunplay is great, man. All the movement, the bounding over, all that's great, right? Except for the commands. Chris, like Reese is yelling out, like, "You two, go there, get that guy." Shut up. Let us fight. We're tier 1 operators. We know what we're doing. You would not do that. You
wouldn't?
No, because these are the elite of the elite. They know what to do in a gun battle, in a gunfight. You're not yelling at them to like, I need 2 guys to. No, they know what to do. All of this is so the whole point of them training together, because so much and going through all of this is because they can react without ever having to think about it. It's like muscle memory, right? It's like that's the whole point of all the drills and all the training that you do. So when things like this happen, it's a natural reactions that you're having. Everyone knows where they're supposed to be, and this isn't the first time they've gotten into things like this before. So that bothered me. Him yelling out commands that we're gonna do. We do.
That was probably more for the.
This is what I thought, Eclay. Wouldn't you just like cut the tripwire to neutralize it? Because they found out it was there.
It depends on the mechanism, the triggering mechanism, because it could, if you cut it, there could be a secondary that would be triggered and then explode, just depending. on like I wouldn't cut it.
Really? You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't have cut it. No. Also, where there's
I
one, there's
would've.
usually there's
would've
usually
cut it?
more.
Yeah, because like, well, when you see it there, you're like, okay, well, I know there's a tripwire here, so if I cut this fucking thing, it's probably gonna like,
Trip, I would think. I would just
Wha-
jump over it and run away.
Well, if you know how to disarm, I would disarm because then
Right.
you're not
Well-
you don't want to get trapped. Like, you don't want this situation that happened to them to happen to them. and
Right, because those
exactly
explosives,
why.
they're daisy chained up above them, right? They're all there's several different points of it that are gonna explode all the way down, right? There's gonna be more than one tripwire because where there's one, there's
true.
more.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's
Where
true.
there's one, there's more. That's the other thing too.
So carefully walk away.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah.
that's why the EOD guys said landslide. We're done. This op is over. We're out.
Right.
But they couldn't make it out because they got flanked.
They got flanked. That I'm telling you, man, that scene was so intense because I was like,
It was
what
good.
is going on? And the other thing that I thought was interesting was that the way that the series kind of went about it. Like I said, like it started very slow with them at the funeral, and then they went kind of with prepping for the op, and then you went into full battle mode, and then they all died except for like Chris Pratt, where you were like, well, like, because at that point I was like, wait, who's who? Like, because they were like, because when they're trying to figure out like who did it, like the chick is telling him like, this person did it, and he's like, I don't remember that. Like, I
Yeah.
remember this person doing it,
Because the audio was different.
and the audio was different. And so like I'm like, well, who did it? Because I forgot. Like I was like, who was it again? Like, so I'm like rewinding it and trying to figure it out as the audience, because I'm like, we know the truth. So like we're like, I'm going back to watch it, and then I'm like, okay, so it was this dude. And then, but it was just like really weird because I was like, I don't have a connection to any of these people. So I don't know whether or not to be trusting what I see on the screen or what I'm hearing on the audio or whatever. Like, and we haven't gotten close to any of these people. So why did that guy freak out even? Like, I was like, I didn't understand why he would freak out the way he did. Like, it was like,
I don't
okay,
either.
like
That bothered
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
it
didn't-
wasn't such a freak out situation because you're in the military. Like I said, you know how to
Well,
defend yourself.
Even
It
if you
just-
are in the military, you don't run like that. Like
Well,
common
well,
sense
people
doesn't
do
get
dumb
it,
things.
right?
Like, so the thing is though, like with the military, even though you're in the military, until you're actually in situations like that, you don't know how you're going to react. I've seen some of the most people ever in back in garrison. They were, oh wow, he's so high, high speed and stuff. But the first time we get shot at, he's pissing himself and curled up in the fetal position in the vehicle, right?
Mhm.
Because you don't know until you're in it. And
Yeah.
but for him to be at this level, that there's no way that this was his first op and he's ever been in anything like, oh, now he freaks out. No. It was a little
No,
much.
but that's why, and later on, you figure out the reason that they freaked out was because of the
because of
tumor.
right, yeah.
That's what,
Right.
like, but at the beginning, you don't know that because you don't
Right.
know what's going on. So I'm just kind of like sitting there going, the fuck is wrong with this military? Like, why are they
And
freaking
I
out?
didn't take it as what we were seeing was necessarily the truth when they mentioned the effect on his brain.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure. I thought we were just saying what he remembered, which may or may not have been the truth
Mhm.
at that point.
Yeah, Eclay, that was his memory that the informant or whatever he was
But it wasn't, it was his
wasn't.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I forget the guy's name, but it was like Jordy or whoever. I forget what that guy's name was.
I
It was him.
I did like Ben, like kind of just going with him, even though he's saying some like Alex Jones level of conspiracy theory, like who could mess with our audio, who could deep fake our audio. I'm like, Ben's like, I'll look into it, bro. Even it turns out he knew, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah. I
Also,
also
got bored
really,
pretty quick. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also really liked the juxtaposition of his own memories with his family. That
Mhm.
he
it was
kept,
shot beautifully.
like,
Yeah.
it was really shot beautifully like that. For a while though, I remember thinking to myself, like, is it like, I was like as I'm watching it, I almost thought that maybe he's dead already because he kept like there was
Jacob's
a
ladder.
point, yeah, because there was a
Interesting.
point where he was like talking to the other girl and or I think it was the Asian girl, the reporter, and he
Right.
was like saying like, I have this memory that keeps like, coming over and over again, and it's a distraction. I don't know if it was with the reporter or with the flight, pilot lady, but he's like, it's becoming a problem, and I was like, maybe you're dead, and like this is like the memory is playing over and over again because you
Oh.
can't like accept the fact that you're dead. Like, so for a while I thought maybe it's one of those things where it's like a Jacob Ladder thing, like he's dead.
Yeah,
And they just can't accept
I
it.
didn't think that. I was worried it was going to go into a Memento thing, where because
where it's like a memory issue,
Right.
and like yeah.
and I was really worried, like, oh man, did he actually kill? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like in 2022, I it's not like I can trust
Mhm.
them not to see they're bad, all of them.
Yeah.
Or to even just shed light on that issue, because there was a moment
Yeah.
where he was talking to the guy. I think Nina, somebody mentioned that scene where you had the gun in the guy's mouth.
Which
Are
one?
you talking about the
And
CID guy?
Yeah,
Or sorry, NCIS. Sorry,
NCIS guy.
RACD.
Yeah, and he was like, he was for a minute. He almost cracked. And he was
Yeah,
like,
he
"But wait,
almost
that
he
would
almost
mean that I
bought it.
killed my family, and that didn't happen." So I was like,
Oh
pulled himself out of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And see, that's that those were the parts, Jane, where I was like, you got to figure out who actually killed your family. Like, you can't
Yeah.
go around like just killing everybody and then being like, I'm just gonna kill everyone and let God sort it out. Because what if they didn't do it? And like, you have memory issues, bro. Like, like there's just so many problems with this. So I don't know. It was
I
just one of
love
those
that
things.
though, that there was always this constant battle between what is real and what isn't,
Right.
but he's fighting through it
That was
to
cool.
get to the answers, and he's keeping
And-
himself sane by a shoestring. I mean, just barely there.
yeah. All of his evidence that he's going off of very early on is very flimsy. Like, nah, bro, he wouldn't have used that gun.
See, okay, so Eclay says they overdid it with that dead bird.
I
And
think so,
like
too.
I feel like they kind of did, because that's why, like, because they kept showing it, and I thought maybe he's dead because of that scene, like, over and over again. And then
Right.
it just turned out to be like this whole fucking scene about like how his daughter asked him, like, what if you never come back home, daddy? Like, that was like the
But-
whole thing. I was like, okay.
Did that happen?
Yes, I believe so.
Once it
Did
happened,
it? Did it not? I
Well,
thought
because
it
there
did.
was so many different variations of that scene with different dialogue added in and or changed.
The final
throughout
one
the
was the
series.
real one, because he
Mm.
was trying to suppress himself from remembering the fact that his daughter asked him, "What if you die and you never come back?" That's from what I understood from it.
Oh, see, I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know.
because like
That was my interpretation. What
the
did you
real
guys-
like well, I mean the real memory coming after that brain tumor has grown and he's had additional trauma put on top of it seems a little
weird.
I don't
I
know.
felt like I feel like the first time we see it happen was how it happened.
Yeah.
But then every time after that was maybe a break in his brain. Like, as his mind was sort of slowly slipping away, each time that glass broke was a break in his mind.
Ooh, that's like metaphoric. I like that. That's pretty interesting. I thought that the last one was real though. Like, I thought that he finally like kind of realized, because
I
he
mean,
like
remembering fully what happened.
yeah, because he was in the forest. He was like starving, and like he was having a vision, kind of like it was like it was he was having that vision.
I love
that
he couldn't
memory.
find any first aid for his gunshot wound.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my
fun.
god, that's the other thing about this. I will say this: he died so many times in this show, but he kept coming back just
Just a little
perfectly
bit.
healthy. Like, dude,
That guy,
Yeah.
like, literally, like, there's a Persian saying that says like you have a life of a dog. Like, it's really weird that like it translates really badly, but it was like, it's like basically people who don't die. Like, it's like a fucking cockroach. Like, he doesn't die. Like, no matter what. Like, it's just like, okay, you're still there. Like, you're not gonna die. You're not like, okay.
Speaking of the instant heal, like I don't know, like what is her name? The Hispanic what was it was Mac Wilson, the second main FBI agent.
oh yeah,
The Hispanic, I hated her.
Oh, her.
so
Was
freaking
she the
annoying.
one that got blown up
Yeah,
Well, in the land
in the
in the
landslide?
mudslide, yeah. Oh boy. By the way, talk about instant heal. She was in a sling in the office.
I know.
And next time we see, like, it's a brace for the wrist because we
Yeah,
have
it's
to include
fine.
her on this last mission. I almost threw my controller at the TV when she said, "Even SEALs need heroes." I about lost my shit on her.
Why? Why? Tell me
Why?
why.
All right, so
I thought that was a really lame line.
I thought
it
I
is a
I
very,
didn't think it was.
very lame line because one, I don't know how. Like, I can't remember when they started to allow women into combat arms, or
Uh-huh.
you know,
Like 10 years ago or something, like 10, 15 years ago.
was
something
it?
like that? I don't know.
I don't. Maybe.
Did you guys
not when
have
I
them
was
in?
in. No,
were
not when I was
women
in.
in Iraq?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's other jobs.
more
You have
than that, then,
finance.
25?
You have finance. You have admin. MPs.
No, but like in
there's different
combat,
jobs.
though.
Oh, not with us. No.
Oh, okay. All right.
But what bothered me though is like, no one who has actually been in the military would ever even think about trying to use that line against a SEAL. You're out of your mind. Like, what are you doing? Because there's levels, and he is at tier 1. Like, he is top. She's nowhere near there, no matter what she did, because she couldn't be in special forces because they're still not in special forces. You know what I mean? So that would be the equivalent to the Navy SEALs for the Army. So you're going to be at a lower level. It just bothered me. Who I did like.
I think we were supposed to take it as like branch versus branch type of thing.
The Alexis Louder, Nicole. She played Nicole Deptula. She only was like had 2, maybe 3 lines. She's the bald black lady in the FBI. I loved her.
The other thing about the show I didn't like.
Oh, you didn't like her?
She was fine. It's just that once
the uglification of black women.
well.
Yes, that's right. That's right, Jane. I was thinking about that too. I was like, wait a minute. Why is this black one like so ugly? Okay, that's fine.
I liked her so much more than the other one.
Yeah, I mean, because, she was like smart and clearly on top of it.
I like the flight chick. What was her name?
Oh, I liked her too.
I liked her.
The little sister.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. Yeah.
Yeah, she
I didn't
was
like that part.
But... well, and I like the fact that she got injured. So she was like, what's the word? Like she was like vulnerable, and he like saved her.
Yeah, he saved
and
her.
So she like, owed him her life, and like therefore like was like loyal to him. Like, so I got those things. Like I was like, okay, I got this. She's vulnerable. Like I like those kind of things. Whereas in the other lady, she felt so like, I'm a strong, independent woman. I'm here to rescue you. Like, like I was just like, okay.
She's trying to break the glass ceiling.
Yeah, totally. I was like, what is going on with this woman? And then the mudslide was hilarious because she's like all fucking dying there. And he's like, let me give you CPR while like they're literally I was like, what was the point of this? Like that was the whole point was for you to get away. And now you're saving her. Who fucking cares?
He was saving the cat. Because for me, after that line, I was like, leave her.
Yeah, like leave her.
He's a good guy. That's what they're trying to show.
No, but how you gonna go kill your friend after he fucking rescued your ass and like, saved you, but then you're not gonna kill this bitch who you set off the bomb for because of like, what was the whole point of that if you're not gonna use someone to get away?
To get back to that, because you asked earlier, why was he treating the FBI differently? I do think because there is a moment where he's mentioning basically all the people who are sort of coming to this building where everything's going to happen, the big showdown. And he mentions the FBI being there. I think he perceives them as like police, law enforcement, or whatever.
I think so too.
They're not really the enemy. They're just in the way, but they're good guys.
Collateral damage.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
But he would also, not only would he be very familiar with the private military contractors, whatever, he'd also have people that he has served with working for those companies as well. Like,
it's true.
Yeah, but in this capacity, they're either working for the government that's a problem that tried to kill his family, or they're working for the corporation that's responsible for killing his family. And I guess he just sees them as soldiers on the battlefield.
I mean, I guess they should have known better. Like, was that Cowboy Cerrone or whatever that he killed on the island, the UFC fighter? Somebody in chat will help me.
I have no idea.
The one who decided to fight him.
Jai Courtney in this.
Yeah.
Perfect villain in everything.
And I love how he got called out. What?
Who
was he? Jai Courtney?
Oh, he was the CEO guy or whatever that wanted to be a Navy SEAL,
The
but
corporate guy.
yeah.
Oh, the corporate guy.
Steve
Yeah,
Horn.
yeah,
Steve Horn.
Yeah.
yeah. He was terrible.
Yeah, he
Horn
was
is
a
good, though.
fanboy.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah,
He
you're
was a
right.
fanboy, and
He's so
I am
evil.
so glad he got called out on it too.
With the fake tattoo. You don't do that.
Oh no, not even that part. It was that one. How she couldn't have identified that. I didn't identify that. I was in the Army. I don't know anything about Navy tattoos. Come on. But my part was like when after the EFP and he's all scared of stuff, and the dude's like, hey, here's a gun. All right, you wanted to be this, then do this. Like, this is it, fanboy.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that. Called him
I
out.
didn't, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect him to kill that guy so fast. Like, this is what I'm talking about with this show. Like, I was like he went from like killing the freaking, like cartel dudes or whatever, like
Mhm.
immediately to killing this dude, like that Jason dude or whatever. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? He killed him already? Like, what is this show? Like, and then we already we have like another 5 episodes left or whatever it was at the time. Like, I don't know, what was it? Like 4 episodes left. But you already killed the main guy. So what the hell is the point? Like, so I was kind of like, I was really surprised. And those kind of things I liked about the show because I was like, this is surprising. This is the guy you're talking about, right? Because
Yeah.
he's great.
I don't like that he has that close fade with a beard. Like, that always bothers me.
This.
He had to be the arrogant billionaire
Yeah,
guy.
because I don't like it. But did you guys understand about the EFP? Because like I had to
No.
pause and
I have
give a
no
whole.
idea what you're talking about.
I had to give
Please
a
explain.
whole lesson about that. So the explosion that he uses to take him out is an explosively formed projectile. So it's not like a normal IED, right? So it's been a long time. I should
You're
have looked
talking
this
about
up
in
to
the
pull it
last
up.
episode?
San Francisco or wherever it was when he killed that guy, Steve Horn, in the vehicle.
Oh,
Steve
when he
Horn's in the
killed
vehicle in the
that guy.
explosion.
Okay,
right.
yeah,
So
mhm.
it's an explosively formed projectile. Now there's 2 types. You have copper and you have steel. The copper, because it's a softer metal, will actually form. So when it explodes, think of like a cone. When it explodes, though, the cone will turn inside out. So it's almost like think like a giant bullet, right?
Mm.
And then the metal would keep that initial form. But so what those are used for is not to necessarily kill anybody, is to maim them, and that's why they would use it in Iraq and Afghanistan, because the idea of it, if you're going against a larger military force that is both economically and with technology, like it's far beyond you, what you need to do is make them want to quit. And how you do that is you keep sending people back with horrible injuries, like, I don't know, burns and legs that are gone. So it would actually be aimed at the door level or the lower door level of Humvees. So it would take out legs of the guys in the Humvees. We
But
actually
I
on
like
our
that they showed us rather than told us what it was.
right. Yeah, I didn't know if they were going to do it, so I had to pause it and give all this to the girlfriend. But we actually would take ballistic glass from other Humvees and actually mount them onto the doors for additional protection from EFP. So, but yeah, it's nasty business.
Me not knowing what the hell an EFP was, I was wondering the exact same thing as this. I was like, is this something related to EMPs? I was thinking that too. I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but okay, like I'm just along for the ride at this point. Like I was like, all right, like I don't really get it. But okay.
Too, in this moment where the girl was, well, she really shouldn't have been there, but when she was standing there in the way,
Yes,
I was like, he's losing him. He's gonna lose him. I was like, shoot it, just shoot it.
Yeah, she should have known better.
So
oh my god, that girl,
be there.
she was so annoying. I was like, why are you standing right in front? Like, just move or shoot her. Like, who cares? She's a freaking mainstream reporter anyways.
Well, she's a real journalist though. I mean, she's doing her homework.
They don't exist.
Well,
that was
there's no way she would have came up to him in a bar. Are you out your mind?
Dude,
Come
that
on.
was probably the big fiction of this entire show was this woman, okay? Because there is no mainstream media person anymore that would go above and beyond for a story like this. Like, this was definitely the most fictional character out of all of them for me.
I agree.
I don't think somebody like this would exist. Like her,
I don't think she was the main, like she seemed to me like somebody who was never really given much attention, and she was trying to make her bones with this case.
Yeah, she didn't care about any of these people.
I don't know.
Also, stop meeting in weird places.
You
Why are
don't
you
think
meeting
she
in a
cared
subway?
about any of these people? I thought she
That's what
did
you do,
care.
though. If you're a journalist, you go anywhere. You have to be willing to put your life on the line.
I thought she did care.
No,
But
I
I think
don't
she
know.
cared. I just don't. I think that she hadn't quite broken through to become very prominent. That's all.
yeah, but I'm saying like I think that she kind of started a little bit like more uncaring, but as she went along with her investigation and realized how fucked up the situation was, and like the fact that like the military gave them cancer and like all this stuff,
He
she was like, oh, like this is
when he was checking her out, if you remember, he was looking at different articles she had written, and all of
Mhm.
them had to do with what the government was doing to soldiers, and
mm,
she just didn't think it was right. But that kind of
Oh.
put her on the map as being someone the government wouldn't necessarily want out there and wouldn't want her story out there. And sure enough, when she finally finished it, they stopped it from going to press. Right?
So another problem I have though is with the NCIS guy, because this is a if they were on scene, it would be in a liaison, like it would be an advisor type role. They would not have anything to do with the investigation because you have federal jurisdiction, right? Then you
Mhm.
have your city and your state, and you have exclusive, concurrent, and then all right. So exclusive would be the military base has exclusive jurisdiction. So what? So city, state doesn't matter. They can't come on there, right? Now FBI can, and I was like, oh, you're just gonna tell him he can't come on here? Are you kidding me? It's federal exclusive. It's exclusively federal jurisdiction, right? Concurrent is just it would be places where like both the city and the base would have jurisdiction, right? They would kind of share it, but it usually goes to the state, depending, right? But for
Are you
this
talking about the FBI guy?
no, the NCIS guy,
Who's the NCIS guy?
he was the one that was in the bed that
Yeah.
he swore was the one that came from the clinic.
What?
I'm talking
I
like
don't remember that.
yeah,
There
he
was
shot him in
someone
the
that had
bed.
been shot. The clinic.
What?
Yeah,
am
the
I
guy he
forgetting
thought
about?
had the cut on his arms, but he didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't. Like, and you're like, oh man, he doesn't have the
okay.
cut.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. Spit
Right.
two
So
bits.
him, he way too involved in these investigations that are happening off the off the base. Like I don't know what you're doing,
He has
man.
no idea.
Just because they're
First guy dead.
military. Mm.
I think it was because he was involved. I forget exactly how, but
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
thought he
because
was-
he was a bad guy, right?
yeah.
I thought he was
But-
involved.
But that doesn't mean that the city, either the city police or the state, would allow him to be point running those investigations.
Well,
It's not his investigation.
You know, I will say this about the series, like just generally speaking, like because I don't like looking at it as a whole, like as the idea and everything like that. I thought it was a really interesting idea, especially like with regards to what happened like recently in the news with the assassination of the ex prime minister of Japan that
Mhm.
just happened a few days ago. And how this guy like apparently like built his own gun and like assassinated this dude. I thought it was really interesting because what it talked about in this series was like how far can you drive a man to basically go insane and like go crazy and kill everybody, like like how much can you do that to someone before they can just go absolutely bonkers? And like the way that he said it, like I am violence, like I've dedicated my entire life to violence, and like to have him do that. And I thought that was like the main crux of the story was essentially this character, and like the fact that I don't even think he would have cared if he found out he had cancer. Like the reason that he went so
Mhm.
insane was because they killed his wife and kid. If they hadn't killed his wife and kid, I don't think
It
he
never
would have
would've
done what he did.
And I don't think he went bonkers. Like, I think everything he did was perfectly logical. Maybe it's just me.
Setting off an EFP in a major U.S. city seems a little
It was a
little cuckoo
bonkers
bananas.
thing.
I would
Yeah.
do
Just a
whatever
little.
it took to end the person
But
responsible.
I think that the reason I kind of agree with Nina on part of that is like he does not want to slow down. And I've been there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you slow down, then you're going to have an opportunity to think about everything that's happened or is happening.
Well, and,
So you
and he's
keep moving.
dying. He can't slow
He doesn't
down.
have time, right?
He doesn't have
Yeah.
the time. You don't
He
have
has
the
to
time to
get
slow
them.
down.
That's the clock. that's
Unless they get approved for a second season. Maybe he'll have a little bit more time.
right.
Although, like, I actually am wondering about that. Is there another book?
I don't.
Well, they were saying in the chat that it wasn't exactly like in the book, so
Right.
Oh,
But
speaking of
they've
that,
been
I was going to
talking about
ask
a
you,
second
Jane.
season.
Did you read the books by any chance?
I have not actually,
I've-
but now I want to
I haven't
because
read
I
the
want to
books
know what
either.
happens next, if anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never read the book.
Like Silver Ronin said, what he did was justified. I don't have an objection to not one single thing he did. I think the extreme of it was
Damn,
because of his
Jane.
knowledge and skill. But you would use everything at your disposal to get revenge.
Season 2 of the
That
Terminal
one got
Risk
me.
remission. Oh my
That one
god.
really got me.
See, okay, the thing is that I think I understand that you like, and yes, he was justified in most of the things he did.
There was a point, Jane.
What was the point? Okay, what I will say is that I do think that there should be consequences, because when you choose to go outside of the law, to take the law in your own hands, there should be consequences because that's real life.
This is
But
true.
to suggest that I don't have a kid, but I have nieces and nephews. And I can't imagine the extent to which I would go if someone harmed them. There is absolutely no limit, but probably the hand of God.
Right. But like, you wouldn't care that there's like collateral damage then?
wouldn't
What if there's
care
kids around?
About anything but getting vengeance I would try to minimize collateral damage, but there would be nothing at that point. My
Which is
humanity
why
would be turned off.
That's why he used the EFP instead of a normal IED, so he could minimize the amount of people that were maimed and killed.
In that situation.
Exactly. He took
Which was
precautions.
fucking weird, but like, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't have killed the dude. I don't think I would have done it.
The friend?
Yeah, I wouldn't have killed the friend.
I would have for $20 million, he would have gotten a cut for every dollar.
Well, he would have just like, I would have like been like, I don't know, cut off a finger or something, dude. I don't know.
What does the
Something.
Vikings call it? The Blood Eagle?
Oh hell yeah! Where they like split your back and they take out your organs and put them on.
Oh god. Well, isn't
It's
that what he
crazy
did
stuff, yeah.
to that guy? He like pulled
No, he
out
just
his
gutted
fucking
him.
insides, dude.
Yeah, and told him to walk. He
That
didn't-
was crazy.
I don't think he took a step either.
No, he
Which I get. I wouldn't either. Like no.
That scene was insane. I was like,
Yeah, that was the actual shooter, right? He did.
yes.
Yes.
And he deserved that. Like, I'm not
Of
saying
course, yeah.
that he didn't deserve it. Okay. Like, I'm saying he deserved it. I don't think I would have called like, oh, and the other thing is I would have been like, fine, just give me like, 10 of your 20 million and we'll call it even. It's fine. Like, you killed a bunch of people, or well, you didn't, but you kind of knew about it. And but then you helped me kill all these different people. So it's fine. Whatever.
He got shot. That was the easiest way out he could get. That's all I could give him.
I don't know.
There was I can't remember. I wish I wanted to go back and watch all of it, but it was just I couldn't. But I remember at some point after the EFP, after the Mexico trip, there was something where I was like, oh man, I don't think you can come back from this one, bro.
Which one?
I can't
What?
remember. It was a different episode. I was trying to. I don't have Amazon. I have Amazon Prime, but I don't have it on my
Okay.
computer to where I can just bring up the episode.
He
But,
didn't
like-
kill any children.
Jane,
He didn't kill any
Christ, Jane.
puppies. I didn't see any
I'm
kids.
pretty sure that he killed some people that were unrelated entirely.
Where? When?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where you're talking
Yeah, I'm
about.
trying to remember too. Like
I don't
I'm
remember any,
pretty
like-
sure about this. Like,
Not sure
'cause I
enough to
can't-
have taken a note. Damn it, Mad.
Whatever. I
Was
watched
it the
before
army
this was gonna be
chick?
here.
Maybe it was the army people. I will say this because he ran away. That was like the whole fucking episode was them and the army people. I did like the one because there was a couple of things that happened in that runaway episode that I really, really liked. One of them was the fact that he like there was this one army dude that was like, hey man, I've served with this dude like
Oh,
in
Yeah.
in like whatever. And he's a legend. Like, why are we doing this? Like, I like that there was at least one person who was like asking a fucking question, because everybody
Yeah.
else was like, okay, we're here, like, we've gotten our orders and we're gonna kill this bastard.
Well, but I don't. Well, they wanted to catch him, and I think what they were saying was that from their perspective, he was mentally ill. He had snapped, and they were just
Mhm.
trying to stop him from hurting people. They didn't know all the details of what was happening, so they could love and respect him, and still feel like he was not himself right now.
I
I
thought
got
it was
that.
really cool that the guy was like, you're staying behind, because I
Yep.
don't
You're-
I can't trust you
Agreed.
to like take the
Yeah.
shot if I need you to take a shot. I thought that was a really cool scene.
That made sense.
It made sense. It was really interesting. And then there was another scene in the same episode where again, like it's interesting because I didn't like this episode because I was like, oh God, hurry the fuck up. But at the same time, some of the best dialogue and some of the best scenes came from this episode. Like again, like when he was like, what was the other one? When he was like, when he found the house and he found like this, when he found the house, it was so funny because I was like, this is like a video game. He's like recharging and like getting his
What,
stuff.
like a
It's just,
video
like,
game?
it was like a
With the
total
heels,
video
like
game
you were
scene. Yeah,
talking
the
about
heel.
before.
And he,
Oh
like,
yeah,
looked
the
at
road
the thing,
flare.
there's like no but nothing there. Yeah, the road flare. He got the road flare. The funny thing was when he like jacked that one guy's backpack or whatever, and he's like, you don't even
And
have
then
fucking
criticized what he had in his pack, his
Yeah.
loadout. Yeah,
that was funny.
loved it.
There was another, this was the other scene. I love this part where he had the shot and he didn't take it.
Yeah, and he left the
That was a
bullet.
cool scene because again, he was
He
like,
had the
I'm
shot.
not gonna like he's like, I'm not gonna kill these innocent people. Like they're not involved.
Well,
He didn't want to
Mm.
kill him.
He didn't want to kill him.
And he put that like the bullet like on the mountain. And so when they came there, they were like, what is, like, the one guy's like, what does this mean? And he's like, it means they had the shot, bro.
Oh, I
That was
remember.
funny.
I remember when I started having a problem. How about when he kidnapped that dude's wife and kid and had them?
on the
Oh,
beach.
yeah.
On the beach.
Yeah, that was kinda-
part I had a problem
Okay.
with too.
Understand what he needed him to do,
Oh
no
my
one else
God.
could do.
But
So
So that
I had a problem
justifies
with that
it?
though.
You
I
had
had
to
a
go to
problem
the
with that.
extreme. It's
And
your
then had-
family, or you take your life on a suicide run.
You're right. Although
but
he
I
did
had a
not kill the
problem with
wife
that.
and kid, but the trauma that they have now, like, experience both with being kidnapped from their home and also their father, her husband, being blown up, like blowing himself
He
up.
was a murderer.
Jane, he
the
was a
murderer
father.
husband guy, dude.
husband.
Like I
He was a
get, but
murderer. He deserved it.
I
Blame
agree with
him.
you, Jane, but I don't agree with the way that he went about it because there was no way in hell that he was gonna kill that kid and that wife. I know he wasn't gonna
Really?
kill him.
He wasn't the one left behind to do it.
I'm
He's
not.
not gonna do
No,
it.
they were on the beach together. So Ben
They were
brought
on
them
the
to the beach.
And
Yeah.
he left them there and said, do not let them go until it's done. And then he went off to take care of other business.
And then he started dragging the son towards the water to drown him.
That was before he left to show him that he was serious.
No, dude, he was gonna.
I
was,
think
I
he
don't
would've
think he was
drowned that
gonna
kid.
do
I
it.
don't know.
And then I didn't
I
think
think
he
he
was
would've
gonna
done
do
it.
it. And then he snapped, and I was like, is he gonna do it? Like, is he
He
gonna kill this
remembered
kid?
A bullet being put in his daughter's head. And he was gonna do it. This guy
But that
knew he
kid-
was gonna do it, which is why he put
But
that belt on and blew
he's like
himself up.
17. Like that is so fucking weird. I don't think that would have been pretty. That would have been really uncool of him if he had just killed an innocent child.
It wouldn't have been him killing him. It would have been his father killing him.
What?
No,
Jane.
He had a choice.
what choice? There's
He
no
had a
choice
choice.
there.
He had a choice that our guy didn't have. He was never given a choice. This guy had a choice.
Jane,
Oh my
come
God.
on.
Dude, Jane is brutal, man. I'm telling
Jane, you know I love you, but come on. That is a little much. That's,
this kid, this poor fucking kid.
yeah, that kid. That's
and
the
this
one.
fucking poor
why is
wife.
the family in this situation though? Because the husband did what he did, and he
Oh
had
my
to fix
God.
it.
Jane
I am
is
a big
on
believer in
point.
personal responsibility.
Thank you, chat.
And I think that if Reese drowned this kid,
He wasn't wasn't going to drown him because his dad was going to take responsibility and do what he had to
But
do.
see,
I'm not
exactly.
so
DJ
sure.
Scandalous is like, it could have been a tactic to force the guy
That's
into
what I
doing what he
said.
said. It was
Yes.
exactly a tactic, but I think that he would have never pulled the trigger, so it was a bullshit tactic.
I think
Like,
he
he wasn't going to
absolutely
kill a
would
fucking
have
kid.
because
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
he would have because
Yeah.
he left someone else in charge to make sure it happened. So it wouldn't have even been him pulling the trigger on it.
It would have been the CIA guy.
Yes.
Wait, what are you
We know
talking
he's
about?
capable of it.
No, Jane, he started dragging the kid to the water.
He
That
did.
was before he left, though. So he did two things. He drugged the kid toward the water to show him that he was willing to do it, right? To
Yep,
get the guy
he
to
did.
break.
Yep.
So the guy broke. And then he
Yes.
left the family there with the CIA guy and said,
Right.
don't let them go until it's done.
Oh, I get that. I'm saying I think he would have drowned him right there if that dude if he wouldn't have agreed to do what Reese was asking him. I think he would have kept dragging him over there to the water and drowned him.
Oh, I agree with you.
Which, by
And
the
that's
way,
too
I
far.
think
Then he
that's
would have
kind of
drugged
fucking
his-
weird
Then
because
he
what would
drug
be
the
the
husband out there with him
point?
to die.
I don't like. What would be the point then if he had like killed the kid and the wife, right?
Then he would have
And then
killed all of them and kept on to the next
He
person.
would have came up with a different plan to get to the guy.
Exactly.
But but then again, then his justified killing spree would be kind of like off then, because like him
mean,
killing
don't
an
think-
innocent wife and child
I
is
think
like
in
then
this
at that
moment,
point, I
He
don't know.
does not care.
Right.
about
I
that.
get that. But that's not cool. That's what we're
No.
saying. We're not disagreeing with you. Yes, we also agree that he would kill them.
But see,
Yes.
that's where y'all have a line.
Yeah, we have
Yes.
a line. We're like,
Yes.
dude, what the fuck? This guy's
When
like,
it comes to my family, I don't have a line.
But
I don't know
what-
if I would
I
kill
don't
an
think-
innocent child. That's all I'm
it
saying.
does nothing.
I don't know.
And I'm pretty
No,
sure your
okay.
family wouldn't appreciate it.
You know
having
what war? We're in war.
That's not war.
That's war. That's
It's not
collateral
war.
damage.
No.
Hey, they declared war if they killed my 10-year-old daughter.
Well, go kill them because don't kill their family as well.
That's
Like
They
that-
have
that's-
a choice.
That's
They have a choice. You can save your family. You just have to do what I'm telling you to do.
Oh
Simple.
my God.
Simple.
Nico for 2 says, so what would the panel rate the show out of 10? We'll get back to your question in a second, Nico, because to this point,
Thank
Dave
you.
C for 5 wants us to know that Jane is right with the devil face cat and devil face again. Well,
I
that's
put that
fine.
quote in the chat. Do I need to put that quote back again?
Sure, go ahead. Nico for 2 says it's scorched earth, not some poetic justice, Nina. Well, I just, you're probably right, but I just wouldn't have killed a kid. Like, that's where I draw the line as innocent children and women,
Right.
like,
It
I don't know. It just feels wrong somehow.
no, because
It feels like
It-
antithetical to what he's doing because they
Yeah.
got his family involved and killed. And it just
that's not justice. That is just vengeance.
that's vengeance. It becomes a little different. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because I guarantee that if he could talk to his wife and daughter in this moment, they would be like, hey. Like, no,
Why
like,
don't you calm the fuck down?
yeah, like we appreciate that you're trying to get us justice. However, can you lower the body count
I
just
like
by a couple?
there was one line that actually was, I think it was in the same episode again, in like that same, I think it was episode 5 or whatever, when he finally made it to the plane and the girl in
dropped
the
the quote
plane
again.
told him that.
Lawless.
I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
It's not the violence that sets a man apart, all right? It's the distance that he is prepared to go. Yeah, and yeah, killing kids is that's an interesting one. But like that was the part where like the woman was like talking to him and she was like, no matter what, like after all these people that you've killed, at the end of the day, you're dealing with a loss, and no matter how many people you're gonna kill, they're not gonna come back. Like,
and I hated that line. I hated that line because it suggests that he doesn't know that. Like he knows that.
he
knows
didn't
can't
seem
bring
to
them
know
back.
it at all. He's about to kill some kid.
He was going to kill anyone and anything he had to get vengeance on the people responsible for slaughtering his family.
Yes, anything that
the
he could do not
17-year-old
to
kid
deal
had
with the
nothing to
trauma.
do with
The child wasn't gonna die unless his dad got him killed.
Oh my God, he was gonna die. What if the dad had said no?
The dad
mean,
would then gotten
which,
him
by the
killed.
way, I think that that coward father would have been more realistic if he had said no. I don't think that part was
But then he
very
would have
realistic.
suffered. It would have
For him
been
to, like,
so
wear the
sad.
bomb and
right.
everything. I don't think that was realistic. Those
Couple
people
things.
are cowards. They would never do that. They'd be like, just shoot us all. I don't fucking care. I'm not doing this.
Couple of things. Categorizing as, bro, this is war. Like, and that does not justify or excuse anything whatsoever. Because you know what we don't do in war? We don't run around. We don't kill innocents. Like,
Oh, we
does it
don't?
happen? Absolutely.
Oh, that's not true.
don't?
And that is definitely
did you hear the
not
second
true.
part? I said, do we? What did I say? I said, we don't go around killing them. Does it happen? Absolutely. But we are not purposefully putting the like, we're not out there actually like trying to kill innocent people.
He wasn't either. He wasn't trying to kill them.
He
didn't want
wanted
them
to
to
kill
die.
the little
Jane,
kid.
He did not
it's
want
not
them to die.
intimidation if no one believes that you want, like if everyone's like, you're not going to drown that kid, it doesn't work. It's why it won't work, because you don't think he's going to go through with it.
Mhm.
I think he would have went through with it. And we don't know whether or not he would, because he didn't need to, because the dude agreed to it.
Oh,
What I would
fair
have
enough,
rather
more.
preferred, which would have been more interesting, is if he'd said, I'm not going to do it because if I tell you, they're going to kill me and my family anyway. That would have created a different situation than him just being a jerk and saying, I'm not going to do it.
Because I think
What
Ben
if you
thought he
don't
would
care
have
about
done
your
it too.
family then?
Ben
I-
did think he was going to do it.
Yeah. And if Ben thought that he was going to do it, I think it's safe for us to say that he was going to do it.
I think he was going to do it.
I
Well,
think
then-
he was going to do it too, but that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like
I think-
antithetical to what he's going through, because they
Right.
got his family involved. So he's going to go and start getting families involved.
Well, he
It's
described
kinda
it.
different.
He described it as in, you took my family, I'm going to take yours.
Yeah, he
Look,
did. He did say
If
that.
all rules are out the
I mean, what
window,
y'all are
He did say
accusing
that.
him of, he absolutely said.
He
but what
did.
does that say about him before any of this? Because if it's so, if he has no ethics or
Right, exactly.
or anything that he like, his core would not change. Like that's the whole problem I had with Love and Thunder, is like he always identifies through someone else, whether it be the one that comes at the end or through Jane Foster. He never has his own identity. It's through other people. He has to have his own identity. He has his own ethic. You know what I mean? Just because like it gets, oh man.
He also wanted them to know why he was killing them. By the
Exactly.
way, I did think that fucking death, like there was some brutal ass deaths in this, like that entrail, like, you know, pulling out that shit, like that was crazy. And then the one that he did right before this one with the other dude, that was awesome. Like when he drowned that dude.
He said, if y'all remember, he talked about how they killed the wife first.
Yeah,
And it wasn't just that his daughter was killed, it's that she heard her mother being
she
killed
watched
first.
her die.
So they essentially tortured his daughter to
Yeah,
death before killing her.
It-
That would be a blinding of a person where there is absolutely no limit and there's no line. That's what I keep trying to stress to you.
Right.
Like,
But-
it's- he would be willing to do it. I agree.
Then
that
there
he
was never
would.
a line. There was
But
never a
there-
line.
I'm saying there should be. I never said there shouldn't be consequences, but whether I understand where the direction he's taking throughout the show, absolutely.
Me too. And that's what makes it so bad that he does not have that comeuppance. He does not have that him paying for everything that he had just done. Like
See-
that's what bothers me the most.
DJ Scandals is right, because like killing your family is a life-changing event.
Of
The
course,
thing
of
is
course.
that I don't think it's just the killing the family thing. I think it's the killing the family and the tumor. I think the tumor was also changing who he was. Like he was like started like, because he couldn't really think, like you can't think clearly. He's always in pain, like over and over again. So I think like he was just probably like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill everybody at this point. Like I have no patience for the shit.
No, the line wasn't proved by he did not kill the kid. He didn't kill the kid because the dude did what he was asking him to do.
Yeah, he
And I
did.
don't-
Not that
Which I don't think is realistic. I don't think he would have. I don't
I
care.
don't
Like, I don't
I
care
feel
that his
bother
wife and child are in danger. I think that that bad guy was a fucking pussy, and he would have been like, "Fine, kill my wife and kid. Just let me
but
go."
he
I don't.
also would have been killed, though. I mean, he would have been tied to that log right along with the rest of them.
He wouldn't have cared. He would have been like, "Fine, then. Like, I'm not blowing myself up." Like, those people are not like they're not heroic. Like that's not a kind of thing that you would do. Like,
Then he would have just moved on. But I
He
do think that, like, I still say it. There should have been consequences. I expected him to die in jail or something like that. You know, that could have been
yes.
the end of the story. That would have been more realistic. But I just cannot see. I can't see it being the tumor that was necessarily responsible, because as a perfectly healthy person, I completely understand
Right.
his decisions in this show.
hmm.
In
I
fact, I don't
But then
understand
again,
how
Jane,
people let it go. When people's kids are killed, like, we see it every day in the news, and they're like, "Oh, we want justice in the courts and this, that, and the other." And I'm like, "But how? How can you stand there and let this person get away with taking your child's life?" I can't. I can't
Jane
understand it.
also wants the like AI to take over and like kill all of humanity, though. So keep that in mind, you guys, as you hear Jane talk.
okay. Putting that aside for a second, I think why all of this bothers me so much is because at the end is treating him like now he's off to his next adventure. You know what I
Right,
mean? Kind of
right.
like who's he gonna, he's out for justice now. No. He
He was
should
gonna die from a
pay
brain tumor.
right, but like he should be held accountable for what he has done through this show. That's what bothers me. Like, okay, cool, you're doing it right. Jane thinks he's completely justified for everything he did. Okay, there's some wiggle room in there, I think, but I'm cool with it if he is given, like, if he has to answer for those.
Yes, I think you should have to answer for no. There were the one case when they were on the street that was self-defense, but everything else, yeah, they should show the trial. I would love to see the trial, him being
Well,
convicted, but
apparently
all of
there's
this being
5 books.
exposed, everything coming out, what happened, everybody else going to jail too. But yeah, that should have been the end of his story, I think.
Well, apparently there's 5 books, so I feel like there's gonna be more to the story. If there's I don't know if it's renewed or not or anything like this, but I feel like there's gonna be more to the story. Maybe the consequences will happen. Well, we just haven't seen
Maybe.
them.
Five books, like, man, that's going to be a long, agonizing
How
death for
far
him if it
along
took
are
4
we
more
in
books.
in the books? Does anyone know?
I have
No
no
idea.
idea. I'm guessing it's the first book. That's just my guess.
Julie's
If
got
somebody
all
in the
5 books.
chat knows, please let us know what book they're at. Yeah, like, that's his next adventure is like dying
Right.
from a brain tumor.
He
Um,
should certainly answer for it. You can't just be like, oh, is he gonna have any charges? No, because what he did, they were bad guys. So we're just gonna, he's good to go. Time served.
Yeah.
Like, because guess what's gonna happen next?
Now, it's possible that he would go before a jury and the jury would be like, "We don't see any crime here," because that's happened in Louisiana, which may
True.
also
I forgot
explain my
about that.
point of
Yeah.
view. Where this guy, there was a case not too long ago. Well, it was a long time ago, but anyway, there was a case where this guy shot the man who abused his child in public, I believe even at the airport, on camera, in front of the news media, and he got like probation or something. So, I mean,
Yeah.
What the hell is this true? In the second book, the government comes looking
I don't
for him
know.
for his help. That's hilarious. It's like
That-
not only do you get no consequences, we need your help.
Oh, do you think they're gonna find him in like some underground MMA like tournament? Right.
I don't know. I
That's
have
a-
no idea.
That's a both
Not-
a.
He's probably gonna be in like Mexico somewhere.
No,
with
he's
his
going to Africa. They
Marshall
showed it on the
buddy.
map.
yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
Oh, a
Africa.
teaser. Yeah, he is headed in Africa.
Yeah.
Well, it's true.
What is he doing there? Did anybody catch
I
on?
don't know.
I forgot what made him decide to go there.
Is he going to be a white savior for all the Africans? Is that what's going on?
I feel like it's going to be more like the Hashats or Pardua.
They did mention East Africa at one point, and I cannot remember what it was in connection
Yeah.
to.
It may have been something on like in the money side of things.
They did reference the fact that the tumor was curable, though. I did notice that. Like, I took a note of that.
Is that what they
during
said? I thought they
yeah,
said that they could
He had
do a
surgery.
biopsy or whatever on it.
Yeah,
they
like, they
said
could
they can
remove
get
it or
it.
something, but I think he didn't wanna be down for the recovery time and all
Yeah,
that.
they said that they can
Did he
take it
get a
out.
CAT scan? Did they scan his cat? Because I don't remember them
Yeah,
doing a
they
CAT
showed
scan on
it.
him.
They showed
Oh
the
wait,
picture.
hold on. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they did the CAT scan. That's where it, like his family died right
So
after.
maybe he goes to Africa, gets the
That's right.
surgery, and he's all well.
Ooh, depends on where he lands in Africa. You know, like the level of healthcare, I think would vary at quite a bit.
Well, remember, he has connections to people with money, so they could fly in the doctor.
True. True. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
that's true.
Yeah.
Man, the chat is so funny. Okay, let's go back to this question here from Nico for $2. It says,
Oh yeah.
so what would the panel rate this show out of 10? Jane, what is your rating for this
10
show?
out of 10.
10 out of 10?
What?
Yes.
That is generous, man. Like, holy shit. All right.
What little I can find wrong with it doesn't bring it down from a 10 for me.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's pretty interesting. Okay, what about you, Mad?
I'm gonna give it an 8. I thought that Reese as a character, I think they really missed a couple of opportunities to actually make it feel more complete. When, like we talked about, I think we already talked about it here too. Like in the beginning, where he's just already stoic, he's already at the level 10 that he is throughout, and
Mhm.
also if you look at the phone call when he called his wife to tell her that his entire, his entire group is dead, the whole team dead.
Mhm.
Have you seen 13 Hours?
Yeah.
Okay, Jane,
I
in
don't
13
remember.
Hours with
I don't remember the details, but yes.
yeah, with Jack Ryan. What's his name from The Office?
Mhm.
Oh no, I didn't
Yeah,
see
what's
it.
his name? Yeah.
John
Right.
Krasinski.
Yeah.
So at the end of that movie, he calls his wife to tell her about one guy that was dead.
Mhm.
And the difference is astonishing because and it was a Michael Bay movie too, probably the best one he's done in Bad Boys. But the way, because like that is what I expect to see when you're talking about someone that has lost a brother in arms, especially your whole team, like you unconsolable, like you should be broken beyond belief. I know, I've been there. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine being able to this day, when I talk about Brandon, it breaks me up to this day.
Aw.
And for him, but for him to just call and just be like, "Hey, my whole team's dead." Like, oh, I felt like it would have been. I felt I would have been much more invested in him if we would have seen him being a more interactive and more fun with his guys at the before the
More
op.
brotherly.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then you don't, I'm not even asking for extra scenes. There were scenes to do it, and then see him broken up over it. That would really help me get more invested. And also, I didn't like some of the PTSD, the way they like, you're not going to hold a pan of cinnamon buns and be like, "Oh, I didn't know I was being burnt." PTSD.
Yeah, it doesn't affect your physical body.
Yeah, that was
No.
weird.
Yeah.
Like you know you're hot if some pot of cold. But I agree with you that the emotion, they tried to make him far too stoic.
Yeah. Wait,
And-
was that like the tumor thing? I never got that. Like, I was like, was that the tumor or was that like the fucking PTSD, that like the cinnamon bun thing? Like, I was like, I don't understand. Like, PTSD doesn't cut off your pain receptors. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that was like, I was like, alrighty. I think that may have been put in for the dum-dums that are like, "Oh, he has PTSD," because like they have to have it like shown to them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's that was weird. As for me, I think like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna like probably give it a 7 out of 10. There was some things I really, really liked about it. There was some things I didn't like that much. And I gotta say that I liked Reacher more. I think that I think Reacher was a way more fun show.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to like, I don't know. Like, well, for one thing, it wasn't about like a dead kid, which is, I just feel like it was like a way heavier topic. Like, this one was way heavier than Reacher. So, because Reacher didn't have like a dead kid and wife. So, and I don't know. And like, There was just certain things in Reacher that was way more fun, like the fact that he would take his shirt off
I
once in a
love
while and just be really good looking.
I love Thad. Thad Castle, one of the greatest fictional middle linebackers in NCAA history.
No.
He played. Have you ever seen Blue Mountain State, which is where I know Thad from? The guy that played Reacher. Watch it, and you'd be like, "This is the same guy." It's because he is
Blue
a
Mountain
cuckoo.
State?
Yeah, Blue Mountain State.
I have not seen that.
Like before I watched Reacher, I was like, I don't know if this guy can pull
Oh
this.
my god, that's
pull
Reacher.
this off.
Holy cow!
Yeah. And he has this girly scream all the time. This high pitch. He's
That's funny.
hilarious in the show. And I was like, I don't know if this dude can pull off this Reacher guy.
But he
But
did.
He did. Yeah, he definitely did.
There he is. Blue Mountain State. That's hilarious. He looks nothing like him in Reacher. Well, kind of does. There he is. Wow.
Dude, HGH is a hell of a thing.
Oh boy. But yes, this is the reason that I liked Reacher a little bit better. Like that steamy sex scene in in Reacher was fucking great.
Jane,
there was
you almost gave it a 9 out of 10 because of the Roll Tide thing.
Yeah, that almost did it.
What? What do you mean the Roll Tide thing?
It's an Alabama thing.
It was too much.
Football. She was
Yeah.
watching football and he's like, Roll Tide.
Oh,
It-
that thing. Okay.
Yeah, my girlfriend was like, "That's her nickname." I'm like, "No, that's not her nickname."
Where's her school? I got this.
Yeah.
He's got a beard now. That's all. Is that what happened? Well, he's
I
like
didn't
way
like the
hotter.
Reacher guy. He was too buff. Like there's such a thing as like over buff.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like story wise, though.
Oh,
Like
okay.
story wise, like Reacher was just a little bit more fun. Like it wasn't like, okay, my wife and daughter are dead. Like let me go and fucking hunt these people down and like pull out some entrails and stuff. It was like, okay, let me just like hunt a bunch of people down, and because they killed my brother, like who's fine, like he was older, so who cares? But and we never even saw the brother really. Like we never didn't see anything like in Reacher.
What brother? Oh,
In
Reacher.
Reacher's brother, like you didn't really see him or you didn't see him die or anything like that.
Didn't need it.
So yeah, I mean, totally eye candy for Nina, 1,000 pints,
Mm.
definitely, 100%. But see, the thing is, like, I could say the same thing about Chris Pratt because it's not like Chris Pratt
Ooh.
doesn't have a nice body. We didn't get any nice shots.
Chris
Like there was,
Pratt is he's very boy next door. I like him.
I mean, I do too, but I'm saying like we didn't get any really like fun shots. There was no romance. Like there was really
Thank God.
there was.
Oh wait, okay. So I did like his interactions with his wife. I liked that it was more emotional. I liked that it was more supportive than just going straight to sex every time. Like that's what you see in pretty much every show.
Mhm.
I like that they showed some depth to their relationship, how they communicated with one another and holding one another and kissing.
And the
Like,
fighting.
what happened to that?
I like the
Mm.
fighting too, by the way.
Even
I
the
like
fighting.
that. Yeah, they even showed the some of the bad times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you mean in this series, right?
this
Yes,
series.
yes.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just thought Reacher was a little bit more fun, and I like that better.
It-
but
The only
Taylor
the only
Swift.
moments of
Taylor
fun
Keith
they
was hot,
had.
but
What's that?
Taylor Keith was hot in this.
I'm a huge fan of his.
wait, is that
I
Ben?
like him. Yes, I like him so much.
Ben was fucking hot. I was pissed at the ending. I didn't want him to be the
Yeah.
bad guy. I was very upset. I was like, what? Like
He seems
no.
like a cool dude too. I read an interview with him. It was a long interview too, but yeah, he was talking about how him and Chris would just be, chewing tobacco and just BSing about things. Like,
I was very upset about the ending of this show. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, no, I don't like this. I
He
don't
was
like
good
that
in
he
John
died. I
Carter.
was like, no, you should have
He
forgiven
was
him.
good at John
And
Carter. He was the best Gambit.
John Carter was good. He
I
is the
like
best
John
Gambit we've had.
Carter. I
He is
forgot that
definitely
he
the
was
best
in
Gambit.
John Carter.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
movie. I
I
like
like
It's
that
better than what
movie.
people think. Yeah.
I
was
like
in
that movie a
Savages.
lot. I was really upset.
Oh,
that
Savages
he
is
didn't-
really good.
That's
Which
an
one?
Oliver Stone movie. Yeah. Savages? It's him and
What did
Kick Ass.
you like, Nina?
I don't know if I've ever
Dude,
seen that.
that's good. Yeah, it's him and Kick Ass. They're in a polyamorous relationship with a chick that gets kidnapped.
Good lord.
It is. There's a scene in that one.
Yeah. There's a couple.
Whoa. This
but
has
don't
got
worry.
a crazy cast. It's got like Salma Hayek. you
Yes,
got
she's in
that
it.
chick
Yeah.
From Blake Lively's in this. John
Yeah.
Travolta.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it's been a minute. I may have rewatched
Benicio
I
that
need
one.
to watch that
del Toro.
again.
Wow, I would
Mhm.
watch this.
It's
I'm
good.
interested in this movie.
Especially if you like Jesus Christ, Oliver Stone.
I do like Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone's freaking badass. I'm very interested in this. That dude was really good looking.
Someone's questioning if Ben died. We didn't see a body. You're right.
We didn't see a body. We heard a gunshot, but we didn't see a body.
I mean, yeah, maybe he'll Palpatine his way back into the show.
You know what? You know who would know? Scott McKenzie. Scott, are we going to see Ben again? Because he's read the books.
Matthew
I will say
Morrison.
this. It's possible if he felt the same way you guys did, that he just shot him so that he got punished, but
Right.
didn't actually take his leg.
I'll take your toe.
Take a leg or something.
Take a leg.
I said toe. She said leg.
Oh yeah, no, it illustrates the level of like, yeah. Take a toe, take a leg.
Consequences.
He has two.
Oh my god. Most people are with Jane though.
I know it's kind
Like
of
they want him
worrying.
dead.
Yeah, y'all are choosing peace. I chose violence.
Oh my god.
Show the
Jane,
chat.
Yeah, Nina, you chose a piece by taking only a toe.
I'll take a toe, a pinky. Well, I feel like if you took a toe, it's really annoying because, like, you know, you're like the toe is like you need it to be able to balance yourself for the rest of
Right.
your life, and you can't. You like if you don't have it, it's very difficult to balance yourself. So I feel like it would be a really annoying thing to take.
They have to have a prosthetic that they can make, or they have
Probably. But they have those
pixie
for
dust.
legs, too.
Like
I
in
mean,
John Wick, they could take a finger.
They have pixie dust. I don't know how well is it advanced, but when I was at BAMC, Brooke Army Medical Center, right, there was a guy that his fingers were all burned off or whatever, right, and they had some kind of thing using stem cells and stuff like that. They called it pixie dust, and they would like rub it in or whatever onto the stump, and it would grow back or whatever. But like,
what?
Yeah. This is a real. I don't know how well it advanced since then, but yeah, like. I think they've been working on trying to grow back limbs and stuff for a hot minute now.
you know,
A pinky toe
that's
seems
true,
pretty
that's
easy.
true. Das Boot is right though. You know what? I can't imagine. He says I can't imagine it making sense to blow his brains all over the cabin. It's like, yeah, like at least bring him outside and blow
Resale
his brains
value.
out like on the ocean, so his
Yeah.
body just falls into the ocean, so you don't have to clean up. Like, who's fucking gonna clean up that place and having like his brains all over the fucking walls?
Especially if you're going to take it to Africa. You know what I mean? Be like, so
Right.
True.
you may need to sell it when you get there, and that's good. And you don't want to put a hole in the boat. I don't know if he was using hollow point or.
Yeah, like you don't know what's going on with that. It just feels really weird that he shot him inside the boat. Like I would be like, or like, you know, if you wanna, I don't know, if you want to shoot somebody, I would be like, get out on the fucking pier or that not the pier,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? Or get him to like just jump in the water and like leave him there. You don't have to shoot him at all. He's just gonna
Oh.
get eaten by sharks.
Well, maybe, and it gives him a chance, as slim as it may be, that maybe he
Right.
will be able to live. Yeah.
But wasn't
like,
he,
if you have the
wasn't he also a seal?
Yes.
he-
So
Yeah,
he,
he
would-
used
he
to
probably
be.
could have survived that though.
Depending on how
He
far
was
they're out,
fucking
like there's
far out.
limits.
There's no fucking island around.
They're
Like,
still
there's-
humans.
yeah, he wasn't a cyborg yet there, Jane.
I think he could've made it. I wouldn't have taken the chance.
I know you wouldn't have. You would.
Yeah.
You would have killed that kid. You're like, I don't kill that fucking kid. Who cares?
You were talking about blood eagles like immediately.
Yeah.
This is why I love Jane.
It's my
like,
little
no
Viking
mercy.
ancestry
Fuck
coming
this
through.
guy. Don't get on her bad side.
Nina, I haven't talked to you about Raised by Wolves. How disappointing.
I'm so
It's-
upset about all of it.
I haven't
So-
heard anything else on it.
I hope they're
it got
shopping it to other
canceled.
networks.
Well, but yeah, they were shopping it though. Yeah, they were seeing if another service would pick it up.
I haven't heard anything. I have no hope that it's going to get picked up because HBO was like, HBO is usually really good with keeping shows like that.
Right?
And then once they let them go, it's like, who's going to pick up that kind of budget? Like, other than Amazon, I don't think anyone can afford it.
Yeah.
I sure as hell know Disney won't pick them up. Netflix,
Apple
I doubt
TV
it.
might.
How do we have 5 seasons of Westworld and we only get 2? I don't know how many seasons of Westworld because I stopped
4.
after the second.
It's
I
4.
think the 4th one just came out, right, Jane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen I never seen
Westworld. Yeah, it's
no, I was just reading Lisa's. No spoilers on Raised by
no,
Wolves. We already did the Raised by Wolves stream. So that's done. But unfortunately it was canceled. That's the only thing
Yeah.
that I know. I disagree, Bonzo. I disagree. I thought it was
me
really
too.
I thought it's really good.
I thought it was really good, and I thought it was very different. That's
Yes.
what we need in this world is we need different things and different IPs instead of like just regurgitating things over and over again.
Reboots.
Yeah.
I-
Reimaginings.
I loved how much time they put into world building during the
Mhm.
first season. And then the second season, they're like, okay, let's go cuckoo bananas with it. I'm like, I'm on board
Yeah, I was on board too. But
because they established so much. And then, you know what I mean? But they
Yeah.
and they just went, with it, on it, in it.
I really
Loved it.
liked it. But hey, to each their own.
Yeah. Season
Okay.
1 can be a little boring. Yeah.
Do we have any more thoughts on this show?
I mean, I think I learned more about Jane than I did anything.
You don't know anything about Jane because I've been talking to Jane for a while, so I knew.
She knew what I was
like,
gonna say.
Yeah, I knew she'd be like, "Fucking kill them all, and let God." Like I knew. I didn't think that she would say I'd kill the kid. I
Yeah.
was a
Like,
little bit. I was a little shocked. Just
It's
a
up
little
to the
bit.
dad.
But the
it's out of my hands. Am I drowning him with
There's
my
nothing I
hands?
can do.
Yes, but it's out of my hands. It was in yours.
I still say that dad, like realistically, I don't think he would have had enough courage. I think that he would have had to kill them all.
I think he would agree to it. I don't think he would have set it off himself. Oh no, it was on a timer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
there was a receiver.
yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have to set it off
I
himself.
thought he
Right.
clicked it. Didn't he click it?
No.
Oh,
No,
Maybe it was on
I think Reese
cell
did.
phone?
Yeah, I think Reese
Reese
did it.
Yeah,
Reese
Reese did
used
it.
his phone.
But I still don't think he would have. Like I would have been like, you know what, just take me out with a bullet. Like
Also,
I don't think he
there was
would've
other
done it.
people in that building. I'm assuming there may have been a couple other people in that building.
There was.
There was.
Because that was
Collateral
quite
damage. They're out.
He believed they were all in on it.
Don't cross Jane, says DJ Scandalous. I've been telling people that for years. Don't cross
Just don't kill
her.
anybody I care about.
And she wants AI to take over. She's sick of humanity. You guys,
Look at those
I've
people
been
have
telling you things.
Made bad decisions.
Yeah, he used the cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Let the robots try.
Give them a shot. We had our chance.
Just wait until the robots kill your kid, Jane.
Then I would have to kill them all.
They're all gonna die. Okay, so I guess final thoughts on this show, Bo. What is your final thoughts?
Like I said, 8 out of 10. I had a few problems with the character of Reese. I mostly what was left. I feel like there was a lot of meat left on the bone with his character. There was a lot more that they could have done without adding any. I'm not asking them to add scenes. I think there was things there that could have been done better with that. As far as all the military things or all the like the gunplay and the movement, all that was crisp and some of the best I've seen on film.
That's good.
Yeah. And I also like that they didn't even bother trying to explain who some of these people were to who. Like, I'm like, yeah. I mean, because they wouldn't. Like, that's just so unnatural. But it just seems like some writers today are just like, no, they think of us as being very dumb and they treat us as such. That's why they have to explain everything because they don't think you're smart enough. It's very elitist.
You know
of them.
what? I'm going to change my rating again. I'm sorry. Because of what you just said, based on the fact that we literally got like no information about what the fuck happened in Mexico or who any of those people were, I was pissed off about that. I was like, who are you people? Like, I don't understand why he's so close to this guy. Who is this guy? There's just so many questions. I was like, I don't understand what's happening right now. So I'm changing mine to 6.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm changing it.
Whoa,
that's
that
a
seems really low.
major
I
drop.
know. I was like, you know what? That's kind of annoying. I don't like it. I don't like when shows just like want to coast on like let's just like, we're just gonna coast over the fact that all of this shit went down based on the fact that this guy knew these people. Like it makes no fucking sense. Like who are these people? I don't know who these people were.
I just took it that they were family in some way.
But you're making it up. That's fan
No, I'm
fiction.
not. I'm not. I'm basing it on the conversations that they had and the relationship and the emotion
Right.
that was clear between them and their families.
Yeah, they were
They
definitely close.
talked.
Like,
They
yeah,
communicated.
the older Hispanic gentleman and Reese's dad served together.
Okay, yeah. Somebody just said in the chat the Mexican guy served with his father.
Yes.
Grifter said that.
Yeah, and they did talk a little bit about that, but like, I mean, they go above and beyond. But
Fine, I'm going back to 7 out of 10. Fine. Mr. Grant Gregory for 5 says some schmuckles for you for having the awesome Mad Mardigan. See, he calls you Mad Mardigan too.
Yeah.
Because that's his name and the ever lovely Jane Theory. Aw, thanks,
Aw.
Mr. Grant
Yeah.
Gregory. And you're
Matt Barber
right.
voice for life.
You're right. That is his name. It's Mad Mardigan. That's what I
can't get
know
away
him
from
as
it.
too. Yeah, fine. 7 out of 10. That sounds about right. Because I really liked Reacher. Wait, what did I give Reacher, Jane?
I don't remember.
Feels
Because
like
I
it
can't
was
give it
kinda-
better than Reacher. Like, there's no way.
So you do kind of like a scale from like The Last Jedi to Reacher.
Dude, The Last Jedi is like not on the board. Like it's just not even there.
So yeah. All right.
It's like
Yeah.
negative 100,000 million.
Reese
infinite
didn't
number.
take his shirt off.
This is
Yes,
this
he
is
did.
the problem. This is the
He
problem.
had his shirt off.
Did he?
He
I
did
don't
have
Yeah.
his shirt off very briefly. I
He-
counted the seconds. It was
See,
so
He
they
looked-
brief.
didn't attract the female gaze.
It didn't. It didn't.
Good.
No,
wasn't
we need
objectified.
more of that. We need like okay, here's the thing. This was the major problem with it was that they had Chris Pratt and Chris Pratt has a great body and we didn't see enough of it. Like we just didn't see enough of
They
that.
didn't want to give you the sex. They wanted to give you the story.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You know, we had the lady from Waterworld, and she showed off her body in Waterworld. I don't know why she couldn't do it in
I'm
this.
like,
We
"There's a
need the
little
male
too much
gaze.
story." I'm joking. I'm joking about the little too much story. Negative 10. No, negative infinity, man. No.
Yeah.
You said Reacher was boobtastic.
Fantastic.
I never said that. I don't think I've ever used the word boobtastic in my life until now,
Yeah.
as I just read it.
So you didn't have a problem with the fridging or anything like that?
The fridging?
Yeah. You don't know that term?
No.
Oh, it's a term used for whenever a woman
Mhm.
is killed off or put on the sideline in service of a male protagonist. It started in comic books. I forgot who it was, but like Deadpool 2, fridging.
You think Reacher was fridged?
No. Oh, no. The wife in Terminal List. That's why I was asking.
Oh.
That's probably
No.
what some people would say, but I hate when they do that.
No, I didn't think like that at all.
Oh, I can't believe you didn't know this term. Oh, I
No,
got a
I
video
didn't.
to share with you. It's
I've
cool.
heard
Whenever I
it
hear the
described
word
a different way. I've actually never heard that term for it, but I've heard people complain about that
Yeah.
as a, I don't know, plot device. But I think it's perfectly fine for a man to be motivated by his feelings and love for a woman. Like I don't know why that's a problem these days.
Yeah, like I've never heard that term before, but immediately when you said fridging, for some reason my mind went to like
Hard nipples on Reacher.
no, Indiana Jones 4 when he gets in the fridge to get away from the nuke. So I was like, what
That's-
are we talking about? Like
Okay, yeah, that is something. Yeah.
That's what I was like, what does that mean? Okay, now I get it though.
Oh,
Okay.
Green Lantern. Yeah, I thought maybe it was Green. It came from the Green Lantern comic book. Yeah.
let's see. Scott says neither Reacher or Terminalist had die or the message, so maybe give them some bonus points for good story characters, production
What's
value,
that?
etc. No.
Diversity, inclusion, and equity.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it had diversity.
It
It
did.
did have diversity.
Everybody,
Well,
there were
especially
more non-white people than white people, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of
I-
non-whites in this.
I didn't even notice it because they never made it a point.
Exactly.
show?
It was just a
I
good
liked this a
story.
lot.
Didn't bother.
I thought they did diversity really well in this series. I didn't think it was woke, like none of that. Same with Reacher. I didn't think Reacher was woke. But what's weird though is I really hate nowadays that that's like our gauge for like what if
Yeah.
something is
Yeah.
good. Like, so I don't go like, oh no,
But-
it wasn't woke. Like that's not my gauge for if something's good or not.
I think it's a good indicator that you should be like, you know what I mean? Like you should, bring your expectations down a little bit. If like, oh yeah, the movie's a little woke, like, okay, because it's really hard to get a good story through all of the all of the obstacles that you're gonna have to go over to have it considered woke, because their ideology acts like almost an external MacGuffin, because everything in the story has to align with it. So it's the thing that's driving.
To me, the diversity issue becomes a problem when they throw stereotypes in there to explain it, like double down on it. And here, every character was their own individual person. They weren't a stereotype. They were human, and they all contributed to the story in their own way, and they were all developed in their own way. So yeah, like they were all over the place, but it didn't matter at the end of the day.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, it was when she was.
Yeah,
I can't remember who she
I
said
remember
that to. Yeah, but she talked about that, and she didn't talk to her brother about it though. She talked about it to somebody else. About she wasn't
about that.
They
She
had
wasn't
the diversity,
adopted.
They had the immigrant. They had international aspects to it.
Yeah.
They had
This
all
was
that.
interesting too, that the Asian chick was anti-CCP. I do remember
Right.
that.
because her dad.
Yeah,
That's how she
because
got to America.
that's right. That was in the same conversation as when she said she lost her language. You're right. Because I remember that, because when she says she was anti-CCP, I was like, I made a note of that because I was like, oh, that's a really interesting point. Because usually, like in most woke media, if you want to call woke media, like they would not be anti-CCP. Like they would not make a single comment against that.
Yeah.
That place.
Oh, to the NCIS guy, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So she said that to the NCIS.
But I think that's consistent with her character too, because
It was.
she's against governments abusing their people.
It was. And that's why she was going above and beyond when she figured out that that's what was happening. Because she was like, I came from that country that was constantly abusing their power. So that kind of made sense. Again, I think she was a unicorn. I don't think she was like this. There's no fucking journalist left like that.
I think some people start out that way. It's just like when you're young and you want to be that, but then over time they become corrupted, and it becomes all about getting on TV or getting their book published, and all of their ethics and all of their drive just goes out of the window at some point.
You see it on YouTube as well. You see people that they started in like somebody went after Literature Devil. That's my boy, and we were watching the video. It's so bad, but like I went through all his videos, and I'm like, oh, you can see where he discovered that if he talks crap about Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, so forth and so on, that he gets more views, and that's all he did.
Oh,
so like
God.
that's all he does now. Yeah, so you can see people that will. I don't
Sell
want
out.
to play to the
Sell
crowd,
out.
kind of. Yeah.
Lisa says that if you read the book, you learn that Reese's dad was instrumental in getting Katie's dad to the U.S.
I'm okay not having that
That's
in there.
pretty cool. That's pretty
Silver
cool.
Ronan also said those type of journalists get silent. That's it. That's the other point too. Yeah.
That's also true. That I was thinking that was one of the things I was actually thinking about, was that her being murdered would be an interesting kind of like plot point for the next book, or like
I
the
thought
next
they were going to
series.
kill her when
I
they
thought
When
they
they
were gonna
went
kill
into
her
the
too.
library
Like
after
in
they
front of her?
stopped
Yeah.
her email.
Yeah, after they stopped her email, I was like, oh, she's so fucking dead. And then that lady showed up. I was like, they're gonna take her out
Well,
of the library.
She was like, "You're free to leave." Oh no, you're not. I don't think you are.
Yeah,
No.
I was like, I don't
Hey,
think she is.
You know what good guys don't do? They don't stop you from sending emails. Like that's a very villainous thing to do.
That was
Well, we did it for
pretty
you.
crazy.
We wanted you to have the real story, the
Yeah.
whole
That
story.
like her whole story too, like the way she was trying to justify like how they did like all these experiments to these poor people because she wanted to figure out like this one drug that could possibly stop like
Mhm.
PTSD or whatever. Like just that her whole spiel, like I was like, fuck off with this, like
Yeah.
your quasi, moral, like
My
moral
dad.
It had to
lines
be a
that you
blind test.
on.
It had to
Yeah,
be a blind
like
study.
it's like, dude, what the fuck? I don't
Yeah.
know. Her
But the
bullshit.
guy, what did it too was the guy behind it, the actual creator, the scientist, was like, we haven't gone to human trials yet. So he didn't even know that they were doing this.
Yeah, he didn't know.
I felt bad for the dude that started the company or whatever, because he's just like, oh,
The
it's not
bald
mine.
dude, right?
Yeah.
And that poor dude. Like I felt bad for him too. I was like, oh, he didn't even know.
He
Like
lost all
Yeah.
control.
see, those are the people that I was kind of like really that was interesting to me because I was like, is he gonna kill these people that had like no idea? Like that's why I was like, there was like so many different like nuanced levels to this. I was like, is he gonna kill these people that had no idea but they were involved? Like, how far is he gonna go with killing all these people? And then he started killing like maybe 17-year-olds. So I was like,
We didn't even talk about Sean Gunn and if whether or not Reese was going to kill that dog. James Gunn brother, who has the weirdest body I think I've ever seen.
wait,
Who is
which
it?
dog? I'm sorry.
Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, right? He's in the movie. He's the contact that. All right, so he gets on the list from the NCIS guy. That's the first name.
Oh, that guy.
that the NCIS right,
the
and
guy
he's
that
trying
he
to close
killed
the
with
deal.
shot.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
And there's
yeah.
Yes.
I was so concerned about the doggy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought he was gonna kill the dog too.
I thought he was just gonna take him, like adopt him.
The dog?
Yeah. Like kill the guy, but take the dog.
You're now part Saul Anon, yeah.
Yeah, that whole scene was messed up too because I was like, wait, what? Like, how closely was this guy involved? But he knew, like, this guy knew. So I feel like he deserved to die.
And
Like,
Right.
I was
I
fine.
will say I did object to him killing him in front of the dog. Like
You
I
did?
would have put the dog away so he couldn't see what was happening.
Really?
I mean, yeah, that was really because now the dog's traumatized. And the dog did nothing
Dog
wrong.
did
Hold on a
wrong.
second. Would you have been okay if he's like, you better do this or I'm gonna kill the dog?
Oh, you
would
know
it
what?
still would it still be the dude that kills the dog?
Cared about the dog as much. I don't think that guy would have cared about the dog the same way the other guy cared about his family.
I think you know what? I think you're wrong. I think
Really?
that guy would have
Yeah.
because a lot of people love their dogs like their kids. So I
Right.
think like that he
But
may
he
have
didn't say anything. He didn't say like, "Don't hurt my dog." Or not
Well,
in
he
front
was
of
a,
my
he was a
dog.
little tied up at the moment.
this guy.
Yeah.
That's what we're
Yes.
talking about.
Weird body, right? Like his chest goes in.
I can't even show it because I feel like I would get dinged because he's like kind of like fully naked.
Oh,
He's
him
supposed to be
puking.
a weakling, and that's how they.
Him
Yeah, I
puking
can't-
with the bag or whatever on his face. I'm like,
That
oh.
was gross.
Oh, that was so gross.
Yeah.
That whole scene was like, ugh, that's so gross. I was like trying to get the scene where he's like lying on the bed with the dog and he's like dead, but he's like totally naked. So I don't know if I want to show this scene.
I don't think you can show it.
No, I don't think I should. Although his like parts are covered, but never mind. I'm not going to risk it over this dude.
Yeah, I think YouTube will just see the skin and do some. Because remember,
Yeah.
for Queen's Council, they pulled something over.
He was built like Squidward. He
Oh my
is.
You know where I knew this guy from though? Like I'm not even gonna lie, because the second I saw him, I was like, oh my god, it's Kurt. It was
Huh?
Kurt from Gilmore Girls.
Oh,
What?
the girlfriend said the same thing.
This guy.
Yeah, she was like, it's Kurt. I'm like, I don't know who that is.
I don't know him.
I was freaking out because have you ever seen Gilmore Girls, Jane?
I've seen a couple episodes, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that you would
It was
need
never
to
my
like
type
see
of
the
show.
whole
No.
thing. Yeah, and I love Gilmore Girls, and he's he's actually so fucking talented because in Gilmore Girls, he basically plays one guy that has like all these different jobs, so he plays like different roles.
Well, he does all the
really
a
good.
lot of the mocap in James Gunn's movies.
Oh,
I think he does mocap. I think even for Rocket Raccoon and a couple others. Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I just like him because he was Kurt, and I was like, I can't believe he's in this. I was like really happy about it. But I didn't like how he died. I felt really bad for him. Although he was guilty. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah. And him, the dog was guilty as well. Guilty adjacent.
Guilty by association.
Yeah.
No.
Silver Ronan says Jane likes psychopaths, not valley girls. What the fuck?
What?
What does that even mean, Silver Ronan? He was the weasel in Suicide Squad.
Oh
Was
yeah,
he?
that's right. Yeah. He
I
did the
don't
mocap for
remember
that
him at
too.
all.
I don't remember him in
He's
Suicide
in
Squad.
he's in Guardians now. He's the one that has the mohawk now.
Oh, that dude. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him now.
Yeah,
Reese
he's
wasn't a
great.
psychopath.
Wait, Scott, did you answer the question about whether or not season was just the first book? I have not seen a season 2 has been approved. No, I don't think it has.
Wow.
I haven't seen it yet. But did you answer the question of whether or not Ben is still alive in second book? Because I need to know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
don't know
tell
if he
us.
did or not.
Just tell us. Spoiler alert, because who cares?
Well, but they go against they change the book sometime from
They
the book to
do.
the movie
They
anyway,
do
so
change the book
it's not
sometimes.
guaranteed he would be alive.
That's true.
But I am curious as well to
see
see
the
if he's
body.
alive.
We didn't see the body.
It's now that I think about it, I think you guys may be right that he may have, since he was the least responsible, I guess maybe he would have just shot him but left him alive.
Hi, Demogeny. Good to see you. I'm just waiting to see if like somebody who's read the books can tell
And
us.
I'm not just saying that because I think Taylor's hot.
I am. I want him to be in the next one because he was hot. Like,
Dude, he's one of my favorites, man. Him, Chris Pratt. I like a lot of his stuff, and the dude from he played Ragnarok in Vikings. I always get his name wrong. From Australia,
Ragnar?
Raised by Wolves. He was in Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
yeah, the guy that I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Fennel, something Fennel.
Something Fennel? Yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and
He's really
he's
I
good.
like him a lot too.
oh, his interviews are so great, dude.
Travis Fimmel.
Travis Fimmel. Yeah,
He's awesome.
he was on
He's
the
great.
Today Show once, and he had 2 different shoes on. And they're like, why do you have 2 different shoes? He's like, yeah, I lost one.
That's funny. Oh my god. He's crossed off the list. He's dead, you guys.
He was he? He
He's
was.
crossed off the list. That's true because he like
Aw.
let the list go into the ocean and crossed everybody off.
Yeah.
Ragnar, first season of Vikings, where they messed up with the coloring and his eyes were glow blue. I love that.
He did that? That's hilarious.
That show went off, just went down as soon as he was done.
I loved it. I loved Ivar.
I never watched I watched the first episode and I was like, this show is so fucking boring. I can't even get into it. So
I really liked it. Is he the one that goes to Canada, America, North America?
Boneless. No.
that's
other
the
brother
that's
goes
the one with
to-
Jason Momoa, I think.
No.
You're talking about
In
Pioneers.
Vikings. No,
That's
in
one of the
Vikings.
sons. Okay, so
Oh.
Ivar was the one who went to Russia.
Oh yeah, the Ivar the
Uber.
Boneless.
Uber was the one who went to America.
I liked him the most. I thought he was the best. What a son of what we saw in Ragnarok would be like,
Yeah.
with the mannerisms and they're like, I don't know, just like big eyes all the time. Yeah,
That was, I think, truly like the most. Well, I think Ragnar's personality was sort of split between the two. With
I'll
Yeah,
have to
I can
watch
see that.
that show at some
violence and the other
point.
being more intelligent, but
Yeah,
But,
I watched the first episode and I was like, I can't get into this. But people have told me to like try it again. So
Not all the
should.
seasons.
You should.
I would stick with it until like Ragnarok dies.
I like the Sons.
I like endings, Matt. I can't just give up on a show. Like I need. I
Okay,
need
all
an
right. Well,
ending.
then it may get a little rough towards the end.
Really?
A
Like
little
Like-
bit.
Game of
Look,
Thrones
Alabama has some
bad?
great scenes though. I mean, the battle between the boys
Yeah,
is pretty
true.
good.
So I look at it like Game of Thrones is very similar because like you can actually track where like the wokeness really started seeping into everything
Oh
because
no.
you can
That
actually
sounds
see
bad.
it yeah as it develops along. You're like, oh, it's really interesting.
Lagertha does become way more
Oh,
prominent
boy.
than she would have.
They
But
had
he
like
also
2
was a very
episodes.
prominent Viking, from what I understand.
True, but they gave her 2 episodes for everybody to talk about how great she was when she
Yeah. Yeah.
Ragnar. They're like, oh, he's dead. Moving on.
Mm.
Hmm. Matt, did you by any chance watch Severance?
I loved Severance.
So
That was
good.
good.
Loved
show.
it.
That's good television.
That was really good. I'm really glad Jane suggested that one because that
It's
was.
so
I
good.
tell
really-
everybody I can watch that show. It's really
I'm gonna be
good.
so freaking mad if they don't get an ending for that show, Jane. I'm
Well,
not.
Ben Stiller was the perfect director for it because it's so important to have that ability to.
Shocking.
Well,
Shocking.
so it could have went very funny like what
Mhm.
happened with Thor, like just depending on like a slight tilt in the lens through which they're showing everything.
Mm,
It has to be very carefully done. And Ben
I
Stiller, like
agree.
if you've seen Cable Guy, like it has that like uncomfortableness to it.
very
know what I mean?
uncomfortable, but also very humorous at
Yes.
parts. Like the humor in it is so witty and nicely done in
Mhm.
comparison to like the uncomfort like that you're talking about. I really like that show, and
Yeah.
I can't wait until season 2.
I want to
Um,
know about the goats.
I want to know
Right?
about every fucking thing, man. That show was amazing.
And the
But yeah,
fallout from
especially
that
the
party.
ghosts. What the fuck was that about? I was like fucking freaking out. I'm like, what even is that? Like, because the guy was just sitting there. But anyways,
It's a great show.
Great.
this show was great. Definitely try it if you're into that whole thing about it being woke or not. It's not woke. Just watch it. In fact, one of the reasons I wanted to watch this, the reasons I wanted to watch the show, not just because Chris Pratt was in it, obviously that was a big reason, but it was because the first thing I read about it was that people who like this are compared to white supremacists, just like the Northmen, and I really like the Northmen, so I was
Yeah,
like,
I like
It
that
was
too.
really good.
I like that as well. Oh, Mayor of Kingstown. Have you seen it, Nina?
I've heard of it, I haven't seen it. No.
So it's another one. Like what got me into it was because I read a review of it, and it starts with it feels like it's from like 2011. Like
Mhm.
it, I'm like, oh, that was a pretty good year for TV. Like I'm gonna check it out, and guess what? It was awesome.
Wow.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah,
Jeremy
Renner's in
Renner.
it. Yeah, it's really, really good.
That's good to know. I
Really
have
liked it.
not. Yeah, crime fiction. Ooh, that
Mhm.
looks good. Good to know. All right, I'm gonna maybe try this out at some point if I
Yep.
can get home.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Jane?
I haven't. It's on my list now.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, because like whenever I hear like the critics basically bash the fans for liking it, I'm like, oh, that's probably gonna
It
be
piques
good.
my interest.
Probably
Yeah, if I see a
good.
30%,
Yeah.
if I see a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, I may check this one out.
Yeah, same here. I mean, same here. Like I get really, really like intrigued when it's
Yeah.
got bad reviews or they tell you you're racist if you don't
Yep.
like it or
But
something.
it's just funny to me that they're bashing this one as right wing, white nationalist,
Oh.
racist. And I'm like, the director's black.
Are you
I-
serious?
Yeah,
I didn't
well,
even know
The
that.
showrunner, yeah, because I think they have different directors for episodes. Like he's the showrunner though, Antoine Fuqua,
Yeah. And executive
who
producer.
is amazing.
Are
Love his
you
work.
This
serious?
is-
He did
yeah.
Fury.
Know that. That's so funny.
Yeah, he did
Um,
Fury, Training
He's
Day,
done so many.
so
Pretty much
much.
if his name's on it, I'm in.
Equalizer.
Wait, what's this guy's name again? I'm trying to look him up.
I put it in the chat. Well, in the comment.
Anton Fuqua. Okay.
Yeah.
Anton Fuqua.
I still love King Arthur. His King Arthur was the best one for me.
Which one is his?
This is one from like 2004, I think it was.
Is it the one with what's her name from Love Actually?
What is her name?
You know who I'm talking about though, right?
Which show?
Keira,
Which one?
Keira Knightley and
Keira
Clive
Knightley,
Owen.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one are
yes.
you talking
I like that
about?
one too.
Yeah, King Arthur is the Keira
I like that
Knightley
one, too.
one because I'm
Yeah.
looking up his like
The
profile now.
music, the scene, I mean, how it was shot,
Shooter.
everything about it was just beautiful.
Oh my god, he did this movie Infinite too. That's hilarious. I just
did.
watched Infinite.
Have you? It is
It's good.
bananas.
I
like,
liked it.
but like, what do you?
It was terrible,
I'm
but I
telling you,
liked
his movies are all everything he does is just
He did
Infinite
this
though.
movie. I didn't know that.
It's crazy. Like when I was done watching it, I felt as though I knew less about what was happening than when I started.
but it
I was
good.
entertained though. It was good.
I was too. Hell, if you want to do a review of that one, I'll come back. I'll watch it again because that thing was insane.
I mean,
Outcall was
obviously, I'm
really
gonna
good,
watch
too.
this thing. It was called Infinite, and it was about
Yeah.
like infinity. So I was like, hell
Tears
yeah.
of the Sun is a great one as well.
This is ooh, no, sorry, not this. This is his list. So Training Day, Equalizer, The Magnificent
Magnificent Seven.
Seven. I've
Southpaw.
never seen this. The
Uh,
Guilty.
it was a vid movie. Like, so no one's ever in the same room, and if they are, they're like 6 feet apart, and it's all done over the phone. And I didn't like the ending.
Oh, I did see this. It was like lame. I didn't like this
Yeah.
movie. I was like,
Mm-mm.
oh,
I haven't seen that one yet.
that was lame. This was
I
lame.
appreciated them constructing this movie during a time of like, you know what I mean, with
Mhm.
such limitations on what
Yeah.
all they could do, but still.
Dude, this was a fucking great movie. The Replacement Killers.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a
Bait
great
too with
movie.
Jamie Foxx. Bait was actually pretty good.
That was good. I like that.
Bait was really good.
I liked his he's like this is Ali. No, he goes like this is Mike Tyson. And he was like Muhammad Ali.
Tears of the Sun
Oh,
was
so
really
fun.
good too.
Yeah, I
This
love
guy
Tears
has
of
a
the
lot
Sun.
of good movies. That's
Brooklyn's
great.
Finest, yeah.
That's great. That I didn't even know that. That's so interesting that people say that this show is like a white supremacist thing, but it's like the showrunner was a black dude. Like,
Well,
I
you
had no
just
idea.
ignore that. He's the wrong kind of a black guy, I think.
That makes sense. Like the
Yeah.
right-leaning
Yeah.
black guy.
Well, his internalized racism
Right,
is the problem.
right. They probably like took his black card away. Like he's
Yeah.
not really white.
Yeah.
He's like a self-hating black or whatever. God, I hate those fucking words so much. Like I hate all of these things that they say about people.
They have the same words they just use over and over.
So stupid. But okay. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me tonight. It was a
Thank you
great
for having me.
review. And it was I mean, I hope to see season 2. I hope to see many more
too.
of stuff like this, meaning like less crazy woke, like, you know, weirdness. Like I like being entertained. I like that it had a political message, but the political message was that the government was evil. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter that it was like, you know, it was a very libertarian message. It wasn't like left or right. It was
It
like,
really
yeah, government
was.
suck. Corporations suck. Pharmaceutical companies suck. Yeah, like I can,
should suck.
yeah, I can,
Wait, what's
I
that?
can get down with that.
What sucks? Huh?
Pharmaceutical
Politicians.
companies.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I can get down with that. But
That's
other
what I
than
like about
that,
it. And what matters is family. Like I completely get it.
Yeah.
What
Not other
matters is
people's
family.
families, just yours.
Of course, that's right. Other people's 17-year-old kids can go
Let 'em
fuck
drown.
themselves. Yeah, fucking drown.
Hey,
I don't care.
good choice.
According to Jane, anyway. Yes, great show, everybody, and thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for coming to hang out with us tonight. Mad, tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, Mad Barber Entertainment. I'm working on my Love and Thunder. I have a video that is my most controversial video on Top Gun and why it sucks great big balls of fire.
Wow.
One is that they don't play volleyball. It's my channel, so yeah, it's definitely. And Obi-Wan, why it's the greatest Star Wars ever. If you want to check those out.
Okay.
That's good. And I'm working on my Love and Thunder being the greatest MCU movie. It's hard. That one's tough though, because I keep getting pissed.
How do I have you on my channel? That's crazy. That you like those movies. And
Oh, I didn't.
I'm just joking. I know.
No,
right?
like yeah, like but Top Gun. Oh man, it upset people. Like
I didn't watch. I haven't
weird-
watched Maverick yet.
Yeah.
I haven't either, but I still
Haven't
reviewed it.
seen it.
It was good. You what? You still reviewed it?
Yeah. Well, I saw all I needed to. They didn't have volleyball in it. They played football on the beach. I was like, gross. No.
Oh my my god, I still have to watch it. Jane, did you see Thor?
I did. Oh,
You did. No good.
it's as bad as everybody says it is.
Oh
Man,
no, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't.
It's so stupid. It's
I
like the
just like
dumbest
I
one.
had a chance to go, Jane, and I was like, no, like I'm just gonna go shopping. So I just went to the mall instead. I didn't go to
And what's so funny is one of the first reviews I put out a video on my channel because I was so shocked that the Access Media was being critical.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
One in the
too.
comment section was like, "Oh, you found a review that was confirming your bias." I'm like, "No, I haven't seen it yet." But then you start to see more and more reviews coming out saying exactly the same thing.
Well, Jane, that's why I wanted to ask you because, like, what we were just talking about the
Mhm.
terminal list and the fact that I got intrigued watching it because I heard about what the critics were saying about it. I was starting to get a little bit like curious about Thor because they were
Mhm.
hating on it so much. So I was like, wait a minute, should I be watching this movie? But then people like you are saying no,
I
fucking
think
sucks.
I think the reason why they're somewhat what of the motivation for why they're critical is that
Mm.
it's weird in that I don't want to say it's not woke,
W-
but it doesn't lean as far into it as I think they wanted.
Okay, yeah.
Like the
And it just
MCU
makes a
thing.
complete and utter joke of all of the characters, including the girl characters.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh.
it's just a mess.
So it's like a
just mess.
woke on woke crime of a movie.
Right.
That's
Listen,
hilarious.
I was from the very beginning, like that little girl was like, I'm tired. I was like, no, you're dying. I just couldn't take even that serious. Like everyone's like, well, the very beginning with Korg or Borg, all their names are too similar. You got Thor, you got Borg. Is that one? No, that's from Star Trek. Korg and Core, Gore.
Yeah.
A lot of order names.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, like when Core was that Gore, when Gore and his daughter, I'm like, that was like, oh, it's very powerful. I was laughing, like
It went
I
on for
couldn't.
too long.
Oh man,
And
she's
then
like,
as
I'm
soon as she
tired. I'm
died,
like,
he
"You died."
saw the water or whatever.
Right? If only it was a little bit sooner.
Maybe I'll watch it when it comes back out on digital media.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. But I don't think
Yeah,
I'm
if you
gonna
wanna
pay
laugh.
money to go to the theater
Yeah.
for
No.
this. Like, it just doesn't interest me like in the least. But anyways, thank you so much, Jane, for joining me tonight. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
Yay. Thank you for joining tonight. Everybody, you guys are awesome. Next week we'll be back with something. I don't know what, but we're gonna review something. Maybe the Orville. We still haven't done that. So usually like I plan on something and then something else drops and I'm like, okay, let's do this instead. So that's why we never really have a set plan, you guys. We just wing it on the show and it's totally fine with me. I like winging it. Like this was not planned. Like I saw this at the very beginning of the week. I saw like the Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers talking about this. I saw Ryan Kinnell talking about this, and then I saw the reviews, and I was like, you know what? I want to watch this show, and so it just happened. There's really no planning that goes into this otherwise. But yeah, so next week we'll do something and we'll hang out again. Until then, you guys have a great night, and tomorrow I'll be on Midnight's Edge for Toxic Femme at 7 Eastern, I believe, or 8 Eastern. I don't remember what time, but yeah, 8 Eastern. See you guys later. Bye.
Because we misbehave. So, would you like to explain who I am? I'm trying to explain who I am.
To start with about shipping, because I know a lot of fans were actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys think of that?
She's a slut. I was gonna say something along that line.